tatami.
Hello and welcome to Polaris 32 Prelims, coming live from Swansea Arena. My name is Tom Barlow and I am joined by UK BJJ legends Samantha Cook and Bradley Hill. We have a very exciting night of matches ahead of us on the prelim card before we get to our main event. Let's take a look at some of the competitors. So Bradley, in this first half of the prelims, who are you excited to see?
Personally, I have a lean in towards the gi matches, so I'm very excited to watch Harry Loseby and Rees. Harry just had a brilliant performance at the IBJJF London Open, so let's see what he can do. Perfect.
And in the second half of our prelims, Sam, I know there's some really exciting matches. Who are you looking forward to?
So I'm mostly looking forward to Libby, Genge and Ashley Bendle, two very experienced competitors here. Libby just coming off a bronze medal at the World Ski this year, and Ashley having won her NEO title. Just very excited to see these two girls come together as two of the most active competitors in the UK.
Beautiful. And of course, we have a main event in the prelims, which is super exciting, featuring Owen Jones and Carson Coles, two standout young competitors from the UK. Bradley, what do you think this is going to go down like?
I mean, it's going to be a crazy match. Owen has already put out his predictions of trying to wrestle with him for the first 5, and then if he needs to sit down into the legs, that's what he's gone for. But ultimately, it's Carson as the prospect. Can he live up to the expectations of his teammates and coaches and finally take out somebody of some real name value?
Yeah, that is going to be a really exciting match. You definitely want to hang around for that. Okay, let's take a look at the rules for our prelims matches.
Each preliminary match features 2 5-minute rounds with a 1-minute break in between. Open scoring between rounds keeps fighters and fans engaged, adding to the intensity. If there's no winner after 2 rounds, a 3-minute overtime will decide the fight. The emphasis is on continuous action. Stalling will be penalized. Constant action is the name of the game as athletes push their limits in a battle for victory.
So in our first match, we have 2 veterans of the sport. Ryan Williams will be facing Dai Evs. Let's throw it over to Michael for the announcement of this match.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the Swansea Building Society Arena here in Wales, where we present to you Polaris 32. So now let's get the action started and welcome our first fighter out of the blue corner, Dai Evs. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out the red corner, Ryan Williams. Let's get the action started. Our first bout is in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, official weight 80.5 kilos, representing Mammoth Academy from Wales. Let's welcome Dai Evs. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, official weight 80.5 kilos, representing Celtic Pride from Wales, Ryan Williams.
So both these gentlemen have been training about a similar sort of time, around 15-ish years and black belts. But Dai is about 9 years older than Ryan.
Age is just a number, Tom.
Oh, beautiful straight armbar.
Oh,
Wow, super fast finish. Looks like less than 20 seconds.
I should have predicted that.
My goodness.
I watched a couple of his matches yesterday, and he pulled this off in the Welsh Open. Like
Wow.
both matches, flying armbar.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was beautiful. Just jumped straight to close guard, threw the leg over the head. We're going to see a quick replay of that. Really nice. I mean, that is the classic grip for that flying armbar from that position. And then Dai can do nothing to defend. Beautiful, beautiful technique there from Ryan.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by tap out due to an armbar, Ryan Williams.
So in our next match, we have Rhys the Brick Hughes, who will be facing Josh Roberts. Let's start up.
Let's welcome, fighting at the blue corner, Rhys Hughes.
So Rhys Hughes fighting out of Port Talbot, just down the road from Nails Fight Centre. Normally trains in MMA, but does do some jiu-jitsu as well. He's been training around about 11 years and is a brown belt.
And now let's welcome, fighting in the red corner, Josh Roberts.
And his opponent is Josh Robert from Trident Martial Arts. Lives in Wrexham.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, official weight 84.5 kilos. Representing Nails Fight Center from Wales, let's welcome Rhys Hughes. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, official weight 84.9 kilos. Representing Trident Martial Arts from Wales, Josh Roberts.
So, Bradley, any predictions for this match, as you were correct in the last one?
I'm not anticipating any flying arm bars. It's going to be a definite fight for top position with these two big boys, obviously with the MMA experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's typically what you tend to see. MMA guys do not like to go on the bottom. It looks like Josh has only fought a little bit of MMA. He doesn't seem to talk about it too much on his resume. And he does have a black belt.
Yeah, Josh has competed quite a lot on the local scene here in the UK with super fights. He's got wins over Cal Eleanor, Ben Robson, and Will Kay. So he's picked up some good wins. Now, obviously, see how he gets on here at Polaris.
Those are some very, very solid jiu-jitsu competitors.
Oh, nice inside trip. Lovely back exposure.
Well, going for the suplex and gets the hook in as well. Really nice.
Don't rush now, dude. Yeah, just keep the control.
Oh, he's under
Looks
the
like he's
chin.
using this. Was he using the smother there? I couldn't quite tell from my angle.
Second hook in place now too. Nice, good, solid position.
All right, so are you in this situation, Sam? Are you going to go for the fast finish, or are you going to go slow it down a little bit and try and wear your opponent out?
No, I definitely burn out and go hell for leather straight away. Try and get underneath that chin.
Yeah. I don't know, I'd do the opposite. I'd just like put them under as much pressure as slowly cook them as possible.
You're so mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
You forget that it's only 5-minute matches. Obviously,
Yeah,
with
that's
the
true.
adaptation of the 2 rounds now. Oh,
Yeah, so the way that the rules work is they are 2 5-minute rounds with a 3-minute overtime. So there is a break between each round, and it is open scoring, so you will get to see who is winning the round. I'd expect at the moment, unless something crazy happens, that it is going to be Josh who is probably up in this round.
he's putting everything into this choke as well. But Rhys is just taking it over his face. He's eating this choke.
Yeah, not quite under the chin there. So I imagine it's quite uncomfortable, but he
There
can
we
probably
go.
ride this through a little bit, as he's just done successfully there.
He's got, looks like he's got it
That's
again.
better.
How do you feel about the mandible strangle, Bradley? Are you a fan?
What's the mandible strangle?
Where you just squeeze over the face.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously there's a technique to it. You see it in MMA all the time. I think as long as you're able to apply it correctly where it's still choke pressure, then fair game.
Yeah.
Obviously choking over the nose, probably not so much.
So he did have an attempt to sit back for a footlock there, which I think did require some defence, but...
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously he's in a much better position than he was just a few moments ago. Again, really quite easy kind of guard pass there from Josh.
Stay on the arm, lovely. Settle a little, right knee over to mount.
We're back into the half guard. If you can't tell from the video, feet is still stuck inside.
Patience, Josh, it's all you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I'd call this a half guard. It's more like...
Not so much now, yeah.
It's definitely half passed in that situation.
Nice knee slice through finish there.
Yeah.
Good upper body control.
Don't make that rush.
And see, this is why my tactic of cooking them on the back is the way to go.
Yeah. See, I would have burnt out quick, lost the position.
There we go.
Sam could have had a medal on by now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's got a great shin pin, top position here.
Yeah.
I really like this control.
Oh, he's setting up the triangle.
Oh, yeah, he's kind of in the triangle, but Josh doesn't seem to be going for it.
Opting for the omoplata. A man after my own heart.
Maybe he knew you were going to be on the tonight, Bradley. And switching, yeah, he's definitely like locking into that omoplata position.
Naturally, a little bit more difficult to control in no-gi without the friction of the gi. Same as what we see in MMA positions.
If you say so. He's got a lot of support, hasn't he, Rhys?
Yeah. I mean, he is very, very close to here.
Nice shoulder crunch attempt.
Oh, sit
Falling back for the leg lock.
I mean, I suppose at this point he needs to sort of close the gap with some submission attempts as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to do a lot of work in this last 40 seconds to take the round.
Straight into the collar tie.
Yeah. I mean, would you, if you are in Rhys's situation right now, are you going to try to push for the end of this round? Because, or are you just going to kind of ride it out, wait for the break and hope that you can get a better restart?
I think that's what the interesting part of these prelim matches are. It's going to be two. You ultimately need to look at it as two different fights, like 2 5-minute rounds against the same person. But you almost want to come out with the second round entirely different and try and get something going on your feet.
And we have seen that before in Polaris, two almost like completely different rounds, first and second.
Almost getting the referee taken out there.
Yeah, for Josh, you want more of the same. Create that back exposure early on in the round. And
so this is that initial kind of... He almost looked like he was trying to suplex him, but then just dropped and got that hook in, which is a really nice little transition. And then couldn't quite get the finish, couldn't get the arm underneath the neck. But it really, in my opinion, it really was all just a one-way street for Rhys. Josh just kind of didn't get going in that match. So we're going to find out who won that round. You'll hear it and come through from our announcer.
The judges score round 1 for Josh Roberts.
Yeah, as expected.
I wonder if this makes a difference psychologically to the competitor with having the open scoring.
Yeah, I mean, they've used this, I think this is the second time that they've done this on the prelims now, and it was very different fights often in the halves. Sometimes, and quite frequently, you actually have someone who was really up in the first half of the match, and then the second half, the other person would really dominate. But it is an interesting kind of psychological test. How do you come back out of losing that first round? What do you decide? How do you change up your tactics?
And I think that there's a difference between you knowing yourself that if you lost the first round and then somebody telling all the hundreds of people in the room as well.
Yes.
It makes it a little bit more real.
Well, I mean, a round like that was a little bit more obvious. I think it comes into play when the rounds are like super close, and then it's like, okay, I lost that. I need to really work hard in this one. And I suppose it'll instigate some more activity, sort of try and negate the complacency.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like if you were in Rhys's situation, would you continue with the wrestling side of things?
I feel like he has to. Like as we saw his guard sort of in that previous round. And, oh, that's a good shot. Okay.
Oh, he's nicely. Yeah, he's fallen back for the close guard now.
He does have 3 submission wins on his MMA record. He does like his arm bars. So we'll see if he can get something set up from his close guard here.
And we went straight into the body lock from there.
And more security from the close guard in comparison to the half guard situation we saw earlier. Oh, nice high guard.
Up to the triangle, yeah. But again, like Josh just throwing those legs by and passing relatively easily.
Yeah, that's the benefit of a good coach, I suppose, when you've got that minute in between. Because ultimately, your coaching, what you're able to do during a match is very limited. Versus when they have a reset, and then you can sort of say, you need to do X, Y, and Z to try and improve your position. That's where the real benefit comes in.
And to have that outside perspective as well, which is obviously what a coach brings to the table. What you feel is going on in the fight can be actually quite different to what we are seeing on the outside.
Nice transitions again from Josh.
Yeah.
Working to the back, gets the top hook in, and secures the other one very easily as well. Oh, just twisting over that neck. He's really trying to get it as well. So about halfway through the second round.
Interesting choice to keep the leg on the outside here, close over the hip rather than to keep the hook in.
Well, the hip clamp stops his hips from rotating up, so then it's harder for him to clear the hooks, because that's how he escaped in the round one, wasn't it? It might be the advice that the corner would have given him. And then that way, you see he's gone right arm over top. If he changes his head position below, which is what he's trying to do, then he can start throwing his arm traps in with his right hook.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to pull that head over to the other side. Oh, squashing the chicken.
Squashing the chicken.
Yeah.
There's always a clash of terminology in these things.
I haven't heard that one before.
Oh, we introduced it a couple of Polarises ago, yeah. I got it from Chelsea, who's my wife, who's refereeing presently. She learned it from Andre Gavin.
Squashing the chicken.
Squashing the chicken, yeah. It's very uncomfortable.
We've got some roots there, eh? An Andre Gavin terminology.
Yeah. It is funny how your kind of lineage dictates the language you use in jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah. I think here I'd be setting up my Ezekiel choke, like trying to get the fist in the neck. Because you've got to try and raise these arms up.
Yeah.
Obviously both arms are sort of behind the back. You do have monoplata setups. As the omoplata man.
Yeah. I mean, Rhys has been quite slippery in these positions. You know, he's escaped back to the mount twice. So Josh may just be looking to control. He's only got 70 seconds-ish left. Nice transition again. Looking, into the crucifix. Beautiful little transition.
Rhys has done a good job trapping the foot, though. It does make it a lot harder for him to continue with any armbar pressure. So then he's just going back over his nose again with this rear naked choke.
Yeah. If you can get Rhys's head to kind of look away from him, then he can drop the hip to ground and be in more like a traditional crucifix position. Nice. Now using it almost to transition in towards a choke position again. But Rhys doing a good job of staying on top now.
Yeah, he can slip his head through. He's back on top.
Yeah.
Start working his passing.
Trying for that Suma Geish. Kind of elevator sweep out of like a butterfly position. Nice work from Josh.
Yeah, he's just dictating the pace of this entire match, hasn't he?
Rhys attempting to get underneath the legs here. Last ditch attempt, I think, but top pressure's a little bit, doing a great job.
A really solid performance. So we're here just in a moment. We'll see who has taken this match. Both athletes will be called into the middle of the mat. And then if one of them gets the victory, their hand will get raised. If not, we will get that 3-minute overtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards, and they see it for your winner, Josh Roberts.
Yeah, so pretty dominant performance, I would say, by Josh. Controlled the pace of the match, had some really good positional control. Didn't quite get the finish, which he looked a little bit frustrated about. But yeah, overall, a very, very solid performance from him.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, when you come into these events, any submission or any competition, you're trying to get the finish. But the win's the win, and he can move forward.
Absolutely, yeah.
When you fight for a position and you've cleared that position, you shout the word reorg. And you all come together in all-round defence. No matter what's just happened, like good or bad, you move forward with a positive mindset.
Reorg to me is about belonging and helping people that are in a bad place to get to a better place through shared hardship, you know, on the mats and off the mats.
And that was it for me. That was like, that's it. Reorg. We're going to come together and we're going to move forward using jiu-jitsu to a better place.
Passing on, I think, knowledge and experience to people that need it, and helping as many people as we can.
So in our next match, we have Harry Loseby fighting Rees.
Let's welcome, fighting at the blue corner, Harry Loseby.
So Harry Loseby, a very accomplished jiu-jitsu black belt. Recently fought in London Open, winning gold, Rome Open, winning gold. Has competed on Polaris before. Polaris 30, picked up the win. Really exciting, dynamic, heavyweight gi competitor. And it's great to see him back on the Polaris stage again.
And now let's welcome, fighting in the red corner, Rees.
So Rees, no stranger to the Polaris stage either. He's fought 2 times, picking up a win and a loss.
Let's get the action started. Next bout is in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, official weight 100 kilos. Representing Folkestone Jiu-Jitsu Team and Roger Gracie Academy from the United Kingdom, let's welcome Harry Loseby. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, official weight 98.4 kilos. Representing CTC Pedro Bessa from Wales, Rees.
So Polaris is sponsored by the UK BJJA, national governing body for UK BJJ, driving progress and opportunities in all areas of jiu-jitsu. So I think all 3 of us on the comms team are quite excited for this gi match, being gi purists.
Yes. And I think this, like Harry's style in particular, having watched him on the last Polaris, his lapel game, Berimbola game, you know, for a very tall, technical person, it's actually very nice to watch.
Ooh, nice little deep de la Hiva here going on.
This is such a strong sweep in the gi.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Especially with that sleeve control to come up to top position.
Yeah, nice recovery from Harry, though, to get out of being in the smashed kind of side position.
See him opening those lapels.
Yeah.
Yes, I did wonder. I thought he perhaps might pull guard first.
Yeah.
So maybe he's actually quite happy to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in this rule set, sweeping doesn't necessarily count for anything. It is over the course of the 5 minutes. He's setting up that kind of worm guardy position.
We've got a little bit of Wormaconda action going on here, Tom. Oh, there we go. Roll all the way through
into
to the triangle.
Yeah. Gi gets this reputation of not being very exciting, and I think it's totally unjustified. When you get competitors like Harry competing, and Aled to a certain extent, both of his matches on Polaris 3 has been very, very exciting. it is a lot of fun to watch.
Agree. And I think, it's not traditionally expected of the kind of taller, heavier gentleman to have a kind of game like this. So I do understand some perspective of that. We've also got Arya that's fighting on the card later today, and I remember when I first met Arya and saw his game, and I was like, wow, you're a big guy, but you play a very technical game, and it's really nice to watch.
Does he still have that lapel wrapped under, or has he abandoned it for the spider guard now?
I think we're just a double sleeve control now.
He had to let go of it to set up that triangle choke, so it's sort of making the decision between, like we spoke about earlier with the no-gi match, and do you stay on the back, or do you hold them a bit longer, or really go hard on your rear naked choke? He had the decision to stay in his worm guard to try and like sweep to mount or something. I mean, we've got some squid guard locked on his right side now.
Yeah, and almost a shoot for the triangle omoplata.
It was interesting how Alid didn't really look to defend that. He just kind of watched Harry set the position up.
Yeah. And then good posturing to stop the attack. Maybe he's very comfortable here.
Looks like he's switched into... Is this the Polish worm rider? Not anymore.
Still in squid.
Squid?
He's in squid now?
Yeah.
So these are I don't know where the Polish worm rider come. A lot of the names come from Keenan Corlenius, who was very much the pioneer of lapel guards.
Oh, we've got another triangle choke.
Yeah. That is one of the tricky things about being in these lapel positions. There's often triangles available, and they can be very difficult to pull out, because even though Harry's let go of that lapel, it's still going to be kind of tied up around Alid's leg. And Harry's switching off to the triangle.
This is a much better position now.
Yeah.
Particularly with those long shins.
Yeah, and he has plenty of time to work as well.
Yeah, perfect for the triangle position. I think with the lapels, it allows you to bring your opponent so much closer to you than what's like a traditional spider guard or a De La Riva game when you start breaking the posture as well.
Interesting that he abandoned that. Personally, that looked quite tight. So whether he's just kind of like, I want to show some more of my jiu-jitsu. Alid feeding through for that grip. This is a good sweeping position back for Alid as well.
Yeah, see that deep lapel grip? I mean, it's just popped, but that's a...
It's like a more old school lapel grip, right?
But that's a really strong finish on those single legs, if you can get it.
Did a really good job there of stuffing the knee back through and bringing the butterfly hook in on the left side.
Yeah.
Harry's just going to make him carry his weight for this final minute and try and make him a little bit more tired going into round 2, I imagine.
Yeah, Alex did a really good job of recovering the hook, but ultimately kind of gave up the head position, which then ultimately led him to be quite flattened out. Didn't really give that hook much leverage to do anything with it.
Yeah, Harry's now really applying that cross-face pressure a lot more heavily. Drops into the long step position. Nice work from Alid to get, not necessarily get back his guard, but force the scramble for a moment.
Oh, we've got a nice Kimura trap set up.
Yeah, 25 seconds to work.
He's going to have to go hard if he wants to finish.
He's stepping over the tracker plata.
Yeah.
And it looks like Alid's...
It's almost getting ready to
you can often see people's hands kind of raised. And he does get the submission. Beautiful work by Harry.
12 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, that Taraka plata is so effective if they hide the kind of grip for the Kimura.
It's becoming more and more popular.
Yeah.
That is current gi meta.
Your statistical analysis is Bradley.
Well, it's just a very difficult position to escape, to like kind of get yourself out from as well.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the move itself is so modern that people still haven't developed the escapes.
Yeah.
We'll have to give Tarek Hopstock a shout out and put out an escapes instructional, please.
Yeah. You can go back and watch him actually compete on Polaris at one of the old events where he competed live on the stage, I believe. So let's throw it over to make the decision final.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by tap out due to a Tariq O'Plata, Harry Loseby.
Fully kit out the gym with the best match you've ever seen. completely upgraded the match space by about 20 times. Absolutely outdone themselves with everything that they've done. A sprung floor with like best match you can get, Zebra. It's unbelievable what they've done. Honestly, like I've never walked on a mat that's like this before. I cannot wait to watch the reactions of all the fight team as they come in and see it for the first time.
Glad this is it.
It's really special, isn't it?
It's sound, isn't it?
The biggest moment of our whole gym's life was that night for us all.
I can't wait to train on them now.
So our next match is Ben Johnston facing Gavin Thomas.
Let's welcome, fighting in the blue corner, Ben Johnston.
So Ben Johnston fighting out of in Chatham in Kent. Training for around 10 years in black belt. Under Ross Nichols, I believe, him being out of London Grapple.
And now let's welcome, fighting of the red corner, Gavin Thomas.
So Gavin Thomas, 45 years of age, training slightly longer at 14 years, also a black belt. Completed on Polaris before, picking up 2 losses.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, official weight 76.5 kilos. Representing London Grapple, from England, let's welcome Ben Johnston. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, official weight 72.3 kilos. Representing G7 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy, from Wales, Gavin Thomas.
So Polaris is sponsored by Reorg. Reorg working with retired military, police and emergency service personnel suffering from PTSD by introducing them to Jiu-Jitsu.
Big support for Gavin from the crowd here tonight. Very nice to hear.
That's kind of what you'd expect from the Welshman. Very simple, like armbar setup that he's using here. Just dragging that arm across the body.
Yeah, this is classic Masters Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Gavin's always competing. He's on the IBJJF circuit all the time. So he's, and every time I see him, he's on the podium. Oh, straight into a knee slice.
But it looks like Gavin's almost passed. Good job from Ben to recover.
And this is obviously a similar time for Masters divisions. Obviously, we spoke about Gavin being 45. He will probably qualify for Masters 4. I don't think he competes in that division, but they're all 5-minute matches once you get past Master 2. Yeah. This is like a tight footlock there.
Yeah, he's really good control from Ben as well. It looks like he's using outside, kind of like an butterfly ashi, right, across the leg, which you'd more traditionally see in. Well, I guess you see Mikey Musameshi use it quite a lot. Back when he used to do the gi.
Yes, yeah. Isaac Dodeline's another prolific user of the butterfly ashi. I only learned that word this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of our... Oh, back into the close guard.
Yeah, nice job from Ben regaining top position.
But is this the place Gavin wants the match to be?
Well, he did pull guard at the start, yeah. Again, must have felt a little bit unsafe, so almost in this position, but choosing to extend fully here now instead of come up with Ben.
I hate it when people like arch their head underneath. It just seems like an injury waiting to happen to me. It's one of the things I see in our kids' classes all the time, and I'm just like, oh, let's not do this, kids.
Yeah, use your ab setup.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if he's comfortable there,
yeah.
and it means he gets to stay in the closed guard, which looks like is where he wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, he's holding it very, very well. Doesn't look like Ben's really putting much pressure down on the legs right now. A bit more with his elbows. Opens up that guard.
Forcing the half guard position.
Yeah. Gavin shooting in towards the omoplata and triangle again.
He's doing a great job of not settling inside of the half guard. You notice every time the top player was stepping over, he was retracting the bottom leg immediately.
Yeah.
He's obviously got a strong armbar attack, especially with this sort of standard cross collar. Push the elbow across. That's really what he's going for every time he's forcing the stand-up.
Yeah. It looked like he had a very tight collar grip as well. Ben immediately reacted in towards the knee bar, yeah. Nice.
Oh, and the toe hold.
Yeah, switching off the toe
there.
hold. Forcing Ben to roll out. Hopefully they don't roll into the cameraman.
Hasn't quite got the knee control, which then ultimately lost the position, but I imagine that was quite tight.
Yeah, really interesting. Again, the way that Polaris scores these is not necessarily over just submissions. It's about control of the match, who's forcing the action.
But that definitely put him in a much better position to win this first round. But as we saw in the last one, a lot can happen in 90 seconds.
Guard pull straight away this time with Ben. Doesn't want to be in the closed guard of Gavin anymore. Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, Ben's used this butterfly position repeatedly. Which, again, is something you see more traditionally in the no-gi. Because of that reason where people could just stand up and break those grips. And again, Gavin going back to that closed guard.
Yeah, again, quite happily accepting that bottom position there.
So obviously what you can get away with in submission-only competition is sweeps become less important, and then you're back into your dominant position to set up your submissions. So obviously right now he's had his knee bar and toe hold attempt from this scenario. So whether or not we can find something else from the K-guard.
Nice little inversion. Rolling on the leg. That's like that old school star sweep, right?
Yeah.
And dropping back for the foot.
It was a good defence, though, there from Ben this time. Obviously recognising the knee bar threat the last time. He opened out the left knee to protect that position.
Yeah, he saw Gavin look up at the time a moment ago. He's obviously clearly aware of how long he's got left in these matches. And he's trying to push the pace, which is obviously a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you are going to get that 1 minute rest in between, so you may as well leave it all out there. It was a nice cartwheel pass, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Almost worked as well. It's one of the closer ones I think I've seen on Polaris.
Provoked a little smile from Ben himself too.
So interesting. I'm really interested to see what they'll do with the scoring of this.
Well, you had the trading of sweeps back and forth.
Yeah, Ben did have this kind of footlock position, which did seem to worry Gavin quite a lot. But then, you know, Gavin had some really solid attacks from closed guard. He had that inversion where he went towards the knee bar and toe hold.
This seemed like the tightest attack of the round.
And the transition to the toe hold too. Even without the knee line, it forced a roll, and it's got quite a bit of torque on that.
It did very much force a response. So what would you be, if you were in Ben's corner, what would you be saying right now, Sam, to adjust his tactics?
I'd say stick with the game plan of pulling guard, of being on bottom, rather than playing into Gavin's closed guard, which is where the threats come. And then, he's really looking for those submission threats on that.
The judges score round one for Gavin Thomas.
I'd say you know he's going to jump closed guard.
Yep. So
float straight over with a diving knee slice.
I say blast double.
Oh, there we go. 3 contradicting advice. Oh, there we go, knee slice.
He did get the knee in the middle, which is good. And then going on to the bottom, as you said, Sam. And we're into a single leg X. Nice, jumping straight through to the mount.
We didn't have the threat of the footlock here, which is what prevented this the first time.
Yeah,
from
straight in
single leg
towards the Ezekiel as well.
This is the perfect start for Gavin.
Yeah.
Got plenty of time to work inside the mount position. It looks like the hand is in for this Ezekiel choke too. The left arm is in a decent position. But realistically, your Ezekiel choke is to bring your partner's arms up so we can start to force a high mount and then really work the high percentage submissions of those S-mount arm bars.
Yeah, Ben's trying to be quite disciplined with his elbows, keeping them very tight. And he's managed to get back to kind of like a quarter mount position.
Can he recover further from here? Yeah, looks like it.
I think that was almost more of Gavin stepping out of him than him recovering, though. Ben trying to invert underneath. Gavin's put his leg in the inside, almost putting himself into the...
It's almost like an inverted closed guard position here initially with the leg cross.
Yeah. He's trying to enter into the saddle. It's like, again, some more no-gi influence, isn't it?
Yeah, I've completely forgotten the name of that move, which is interesting.
The Kani Basami. Kani...
What, the saddle?
No, it's...
oh, what, you mean...
false reap. There we go, that's what I was thinking of.
Ah. We're not aligned yet.
No.
A few more matches and we'll get there. See if Gavin can back out and hit another cartwheel pass. Got a strong cross collar grip.
Yeah.
If you can drive your knee through and start working the knee slice, that becomes super effective as the top player. Oh.
Interesting, yeah. Good sweep from Butterfly. Interesting that Ben trains with at London Grapple with Ross, and obviously Ross is very well known for his butterfly guard.
But it's so much harder to play in the gi, though.
It is, yeah. Back to single leg X position.
Yeah, I mean, Ben's just hunting a straight ankle lock, and that's what he should do.
It's not a bad tactic, right?
How the match has played out so far, he needs to go everything on the straight ankle lock and try and get the finish.
Yeah, still over 2.5 minutes to go.
Obviously, there's plenty of friction in that collar grip. It doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon.
He's stepping on it.
That's
He's
better.
Got it.
Oh.
Gavin
Willie tap in
not
front
to
of his
react.
hometown.
Oh. It looks... Gavin doesn't look super stressed. Oh, he does get it.
Wow.
Nice finish.
Oh, he's happy with that.
Excellent finish from Ben.
Good job.
He had to go for broke on that
yeah,
finish.
very much so.
He'd been mounted in that round. He'd lost the first. It was submit or lose.
Yep. So this is that initial guard pull. And then Gavin did a great job coming up on top. Yeah, and then but Ben got into this footlock, really applied the pressure, and Gavin didn't really have an answer for it. He was just kind of almost hoping that it would
go away.
Ben would change. Yeah, almost. He eventually brought this leg across, but just a little bit too late. Excellent finish from Ben, and Ben very, very excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by tap out due to an ankle lock, Ben Johnston.
Okay, our next match featuring Shane Price versus Stephen Abberley.
Let's welcome, fighting in the blue corner, Shane Price.
So Shane Price, we've seen him several times on Polaris. The last time he had a takedown fest with Christian Osbeck. Just all over the place.
Really?
So many. Yeah, it was mostly Osbeck's match, but there was a lot of foot sweeps, a lot of high percentage throws.
So did Osbeck win the...
He did indeed, yeah.
Wow. So Shane's coming back for redemption.
Yes.
And now let's welcome, fighting in the red corner, Stephen Abberley.
So Stephen Abberley, very, very accomplished judo player, 2 times Commonwealth medalist.
So
20 years experience in BJJ and judo.
We know what the matchmakers have got planned for this one. We want some high amplitude throws.
And I think we might get it as well.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, official weight 87.9 kilos, representing SPG. From Wales, let's welcome Shane Price. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, official weight 87.9 kilos, representing Dragons Academy. From Wales, Stephen Abberley.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Shane had no fear of standing with Christian Osbeck. He did get taken down a lot, but he did get some of his own attacks going as well. It was a fun match back and forth.
Bit of a height difference here between the two as well.
Yeah, very much so.
Sometimes I think it makes it a bit easier to get underneath people if they're a bit taller, longer limbs.
Yeah, you'd think, right? It's going to be interesting to see how that judo plays out in this environment.
Oh,
Shane.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you think with Stephen's frame that he's probably the tallest guy in his division when he was competing in judo.
Yeah, you'd think.
So he's probably used to having the height advantage.
Yeah, that was a nice pull by Shane. He used that 2-on-1 grip and then tried to get for the trip straight away. This is something we've actually seen quite a lot on Polaris. It's much easier to get into a takedown position from the guard, where you can come up towards the hips, and then from there it's much easier to close the space and start the pass.
Lovely
Beautiful
entry.
inversion.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Entry there into
Yeah.
the
Calf slicer being applied.
position.
Yeah, and it's got that clover leaf. Gets the submission.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful work from Shane Price. We're expecting a stand-up war, and instead we got that beautiful display of guard work and leg locks.
Guard ball, entry,
Yeah.
sub. Lovely.
The first layer of mental warfare.
Trick them with what you think they think you're going to do and do something completely
I
opposite.
feel like you've got to finish that statement
Yeah,
for
I know.
everybody, Bradley.
Tell him you're going to throw him and then pull guard.
Yeah. Deception. Yeah, I mean, he even did this nice little trip straight off the bat. And then we saw this beautiful inversion from that
Yeah, straight
half
into
butterfly.
the...
And then catching those legs, going in for the Texas cloverleaf. Beautiful
Fast
work
rush
from
to
Shane.
me.
Texas cloverleaf.
Yeah,
That sounds like a WWE move.
not the Boston Crab.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by tap out due to a knee bar, Shane Price.
I would be interested to know if that was more calf crush or knee bar, but I suppose you'd have to ask Stephen for that. Might be too soon.
MC Nana in the house. I couldn't set the Wi-Fi up, now I'm day trading. From bingo halls to Lambo Dane, stay blazing. Rennie went from clapped out, Prius barely moving. Now it's matte black Mercs, turbo cruising. I stake, I swap, I ride those dips, I don't knit no more. I flip these flips, thought crypto was a scam, now I'm laughing. Pineapple plugged me in, now I'm gasping.
So in our next match, we have Jordan Kirk versus Stefan Dabija.
Let's welcome, fighting in the blue corner, Jordan Kirk.
So Jordan Kirk is representing Elite Jiu-Jitsu Somerset, training for around 13 years, black belt. Fought Marggo Chiarelli in September 2024, but was a little bit disappointed with his performance in that match. So he'll be out looking for redemption.
And now let's welcome, fighting in the red corner, Stefan Dabija.
Stefan Dabija, only 18 years old, but training 10 years. He's one of these young, very much up-and-coming grapplers, competing out of Los Banditos in London. Bradley, you were saying you were quite excited for this match.
Yeah, this, I mean, look at the size of him. 18 years of age, an absolute tank. And from a lot of his matches, he's just like full send from the start to finish.
We can expect some fireworks.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, official weight 96.7 kilos, representing Elite Jiu-Jitsu Somerset. From the United Kingdom, let's welcome Jordan Kirk. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, official weight 95.5 kilos, representing Los Banditos. From the United Kingdom, Stefan Dabija.
So Polaris is sponsored by Warrior, creators of the world's tastiest protein bar. Try Warrior Crunch today.
What are your predictions here, Bradley?
I'm going to go with a choke from the back. Just a good old-fashioned rear naked choke over the face.
Pretty simple. We were talking about Christian Osbeck earlier, who competed against Shane Price. He's actually in the corner of Stefan.
So if Stefan's 18, is he purple belt?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of great to see a lot of these younger athletes starting to come up.
Yeah, Los Banditos have sort of took the London scene by storm. It's the place to be for no-gi training, and they've got an unbelievable set of like juveniles that obviously now are advancing out into adult divisions.
Yeah, Eoghan O'Flanagan, who we'll actually see later in the main event.
Who's actually in the corner of Stefan now.
Yeah.
So are we anticipating naturally that both players want to stay on top, get to top position here?
Yeah, I mean, wrestling has kind of become like the meta in no-gi at the moment. Everybody's trying to like wrestle each other and whatnot.
I mean, especially at this size. I won't want either of these two on top of me. But obviously there's a lot of hand fighting, like the big battle at this point. Neither one of them are going to commit to a shot that could put them out of position and potentially give up guillotines and the front headlock. So then there's a lot of searching for underhooks followed by foot sweeps.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you saw right there from Jordan.
Which again is like probably not even for the cleanest takedown. Like it's more just to get a little off balance, and either you pick up a single or you find the back attack for now.
Yeah, I expected kind of a little bit of a faster start, in all honesty. It's been quite slow, quite measured, a lot of feeling out.
Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to set up what he's been working on in the training room. There's a lot more of a sort of methodical approach. You can hear the instructions from his coach and team. He's trying to utilize his hand fight and to follow up with something, but again, in these no-gi matches, it does become very difficult to create the attachment in the first place to get the success of a takedown. Because as I say, you don't want to be shooting willy-nilly where you have the opportunity to sort of give up your neck. So it does become a lot of hand fighting, but then once there is success, then you really get something going.
Yeah, he tried a little bit of throw by there to the foot sweep.
It's getting that ball rolling, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the challenges with wrestling.
They're actually being warned now by the referee for not doing enough action, which I think is a very, very fair thing.
I agree.
You need, at the end of the day, Polaris is a show. You want to see a lot of action happening. You want to see things trying to push pace. Both of these guys are trying very much singular attacks in what they're doing. It's that singular foot sweep, there's no necessarily a follow-up to that. And if you want to get people to the ground, just like hand fighting gets those positions, chain wrestling is one of the best ways to be able to do that. Connect that foot sweep into something else and then connect that into something else, like this.
But it has to be a deep enough initiation to cause a reaction. And currently, right now, we're not getting that reaction.
Yeah, it's almost like they're a little bit too tensive. They're slapping the leg rather than really getting a good penetration step.
And again, like you mentioned, Bradley, if you kind of commit and it's not quite right, you also risk giving up position yourself.
There's a lot of collar ties, like heavy double collar ties.
Yeah.
It makes you think that there's maybe like investment into the second round. Whereas like this is better.
Yeah, we had a entry on the leg there from Stefan.
Yeah, then again, it just kind of missed opportunity, right? Whereas they need to continue in pushing that pace. I think as it's assumed like Stefan would have a gas tank for days being only 18 years old, right? And training in an environment like Los Banditos as well, which is, a bit of a pressure cooker from what you can see on the online.
Yeah, it does feel like it's almost using these collar ties and this pressure as money in the bank to then go a little bit harder in the second period, where then your partner's a little bit more fatigued.
That's a little bit of a risky strategy, though, right? Because they are scoring it over two things, and has he done enough to win this? But
yeah,
then I guess the same thing is, has Jordan done enough to win this?
Yeah, it's currently...
I mean, ultimately, at this point, you're going to jump a flying armbar, jump a leg lock, try something.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to do something in this last couple of seconds.
Just to distinguish yourself versus the other person.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, probably the single leg was the only thing of note in that entire 5-minute period.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely pressing forwards most of the time, which tends to favour the judges when you see it.
This is where, as we spoke about earlier, the advice from the corner team is going to be like imperative. Either someone says, I need you to pull guard and completely change the matchup, or it's small things.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they decide this one.
I mean, this, obviously, depending on how the next round goes, might go into an extra round if they feel like this is even.
It's a 10-point must system, so someone has to win that round.
Yep.
That's the problem with these fine margins. And also why, hopefully, in these grappling matches, you start seeing more 10-8, 10-7 rounds when you start seeing
the judges score round number 1 for Stefan Dabija.
Yeah, so his little flurry at the end of the round was enough to get the nod, but albeit marginal.
I still think he potentially had more of the pushing pace throughout that first round there as well.
Yeah, I think he definitely had a few better things. Like Jordan did have a few little foot sweep attempts at the start, but then there wasn't a lot coming from him. I think the problem, as you were discussing with like 10-8s and 10-7s, is the margin becomes too hard to get back from that.
Yeah.
And if someone only does dominate the round, as we've seen, sometimes they might have like we saw it with David Asir when he fought in one of his matches. He absolutely dominated for the first half of the match.
Yeah, with George.
With George Pearse, who actually we'll see later on the card. Absolutely dominated, and then just absolutely gassed as well.
I thought we were going to see a choice to go to the ground there from Jordan, but I think it was just a fake to come back up. But again, didn't quite cause the reaction that was probably desired.
We spoke in the previous match. Obviously,
I actually don't think this is a bad decision from Jordan. Like, he wasn't having any success up on his feet. Maybe you can get deeper into like a shooting position or into like a takedown position from his guard.
But also, if you don't change the current plan, you potentially don't influence the outcome, do you? So.
Yeah, I mean, he's also the person that has pulled guard now as well, right? He's decided where to take this match, and he does look like he's somewhat in on a like a half guard sweep here. Although Stefan has definitely got that deep cross face now.
It looks like he's controlling his foot with the left hand.
Yeah, that's a good solid grip. It gives him a lot of torque on the knee and on the hip. But lets it go. Jordan considering coming up off the ground.
Yeah, Stefan's not going to let him up now.
No, Stefan is trying to apply that pressure. He's leaning and wearing on Jordan. Jordan again going into that half guard position. You can hear Stefan's corner telling him to try and create more space and keep Jordan's head away from the hip, because here Jordan is getting in towards that like, little bit further underneath him.
Yeah, he's going to be looking for a little bit of elevation, but he has ended up a little bit flat now.
Yeah. I mean, that is the benefit of being on top of someone in guard, is you can lean that weight on them. They're forced to carry your weight, so they're going to get a little bit more tired.
Especially that there was a lot of forward driving pressure there from Stefan.
Well, this is hopefully where he can set up his arm triangles and slowly pass towards the mount.
Yeah, and then your prediction will come true, Bradley, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
Almost in on the hips was Jordan. Jordan again going underneath.
He's done a really good job to get out of that squashed half guard. I mean, albeit a shallow underhook at this point, but he's in a much better position than where he was.
Yeah. Back into the butterfly guard. And through to the closed guard again.
So just under 2 minutes left on the clock here.
Oh, attempting the armbar, but gives up all the pass almost. Forced to work hard to recover.
Again, that's sort of the paradox of no-gi, is allowing enough pressure that you've got something to bite on once you do throw up your arm bars. Because the problem is if you don't receive enough pressure, you go for the arm bar and the guy pulls out immediately.
And you're in a compromised position almost immediately.
Exactly.
And as you get later on in the match, that's going to get harder and harder as you get more and more slippy.
But ultimately, at this point, it does feel like Jordan is the one initiating. He's the one pull guard. He's trying to get things going. Albeit, Stefan is sort of putting the pressure on.
Referee's standing them up.
Yeah, the issue is, I think, when it comes to thinking about what the judges are thinking about when they're scoring, is that Jordan's also defending a lot of guard passing positions in that situation, rather than necessarily attacking.
He didn't get anything going particularly, I mean, Stefan did get into a few decent enough passing positions. Obviously had a lot of pressure on him. There's a little bit of a row drag. Stepping over those legs quite well. He's got that good, better upper body position now into this kind of tripod passing.
Yeah, I think Arya was seemed a little bit rushed and almost lost the position, whereas here, yeah, a little bit more methodical, took his time, secured the pass.
Yeah, and you'd kind of expect this to secure the round for him as well. 18 seconds. Your prediction is looking less and less likely, unfortunately, Bradley.
I don't know. What did you say? Choke from the back, Turtle? We got 10 seconds left. Oh, we're out.
I'm going to have a word with him backstage.
It's making you look bad, right? And that's the end of the match. So we'll go over to our judges, and they will decide who they feel won that second period.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards, and they see it for your winner, Stefan Dabija.
Yeah, so Stefan getting the victory. I think it was deserved in that second round. He definitely had the better positions in the passing. You know, Jordan just chose to pull guard, which is a good way to, you know, at least start to try and progress some of the action.
Yeah, you have to change it up if it's not working. Show us the other tools in the toolkit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But sometimes if you're the one to change it up, then you put yourself in the bad position trying to get something going in the match.
The risk you take.
We are going to fully kit out the gym with the best match you've ever seen.
Completely upgraded the match space by about 20 times. Absolutely outdone themselves with everything that they've done. A sprung floor with like best match you can get, Zebra. It's unbelievable what they've done. Honestly, like I've never walked on a mat that's like this before. Cannot wait to watch the reactions of all the fight team as they come in and see it for the first time.
Glad this is it.
It's really special, isn't it?
Sound, isn't it?
The biggest moment of our whole gym's life was at that night for us all.
Can't wait to train on them now.
So in our next match, we have Gavin, Stewart versus Craig Ewers.
Let's welcome, fighting in the blue corner, Gavin Stewart.
So Gavin's fought Polaris before, had an absolute barn burner of a match, winning via short choke. It was a real back and forth battle. Representing 10th Planet Banbury.
Yeah, this is one of the matches that me and Sam were highly anticipating.
And now let's welcome, fighting in the red corner, Craig Ewers.
Craig Ewers, very experienced judo player, having a 6th dan. Also highly accomplished BJJ black belt. We've seen him a number of times on Polaris.
Let's Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, official weight 79.2 kilos, representing 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu Banbury. From the United Kingdom, let's welcome Gavin Stewart. And now let's welcome his opponent fighting in the red corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, official weight 79.2 kilos, representing Craig Ewers Academy. From Wales, UK, Craig Ewers.
So Polaris is sponsored by Timex. Timex on your wrist as a reminder that time belongs to you. Oh, we've had an early eye poke straight off the bat.
Ooh. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So for people that didn't watch Polaris 29 with Gavin Stewart, the reason that Bradley and I were very excited to watch this match, obviously Gavin, 10th Planet, typical 10th Planet player as well, was playing a lot of half-guard lockdown positions, and I think literally in the last 7 seconds managed to get on his opponent's back and put him to sleep within like 2 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, I think he was very much down that entire match, and it was yeah, really a great performance. The crowd went mental, and he does have this very old school kind of 10th Planet lockdown, which you don't necessarily see that much anymore.
No,
He's hunting that lockdown already.
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah, same position really, straight into the pull into the half guard lockdown.
This is a good way to deal with it. See how he's gone like sort of he's switched his hips.
Yeah,
you sort of deny entry to that back leg.
Yeah,
however,
it takes all the pressure off the lockdown as well. It makes it very difficult for them to stretch you out with it. Now Craig looks like he's trying to get that near side head position. We're going to go straight into the rubber guard. How's your rubber guard vocabulary?
I don't understand the ins and outs, but
okay,
we're
in mission control.
Oh, is this what it is?
I don't know. It is no longer in mission control anymore.
You're educating me. Let's put it that way.
At this point, it's just always going to go for the Hindu lutein.
Oh wow!
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah. Wow, that is a level of flexibility beyond.
I mean, my shoulders would snap if I tried to do any of that nonsense.
That is a move made famous by Ben Eddy of the 10th Planet system. Lovely takedown there by Craig. Got to get it in when you can.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Craig has got phenomenal takedown skills, as you'd expect with someone that level of experience.
But this is sort of the go-to game with that sort of traditional 10th Planet is you get chest on chest, you try and lock up the lockdown. When the guy backs away, you throw up your rubber guard.
Yep.
And you start setting up all the submissions from there. So, I mean, it works well under sort of submission-only rule sets too.
Yeah, Craig's slowly working his knee line out of this position. You know, using that kind of long step or back step position, you're able to deal with the lockdown quite effectively.
Yeah, I imagine he's probably done his research a bit before this fight.
And now, this is kind of this position that Gavin's entered is kind of keeping Craig's hip from getting to exactly where he needs it to be. Like he's almost a little bit off balance, but Craig does manage to solidify the pass.
Yep.
And again, looking for that just top spin armbar.
Most 10th Planet competitors are very proficient in defense. You see they get out of bad positions all the time because the training is not... Like, obviously, the majority of us train for jiu-jitsu competition that follows the guidance of 2 points for this, 3 points for that, don't allow your guard to be passed. Whereas 10th Planet is much more focused and centered around submission-only grappling. So this is sort of not necessarily the end of the world.
Yeah, it's almost like they get to a position that you kind of assume this could be game over here, and then there's a recovery. There's a relaxed nature about it of like, oh, well, that's okay because I'm just going to recover from this point.
Yeah, I mean, Craig's doing a great job. The other benefit for Gavin is that, you know, in 90 seconds they're going to get reset. Like Craig could go through every single position under the sun, and it only counts for 1 round.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he gets a second chance in.
And if Craig is doing a lot of work to maintain these positions, to try and stay there, that's going to burn through his gas tank a little bit.
But Craig's in a brilliant position, trying to set up the wrap on the far arm. You can see eventually trying to find a gift wrap. Yeah. This will be rear
doesn't
naked
look
choke
exposed in the
central.
back position, yeah.
Yeah, and Craig's opted for that leg in the middle, which makes it very, very difficult to kind of clear, because first Gavin has to get that leg out of the middle to then start unlocking that body triangle.
We'll see if Gavin tries to attempt any ankle locks on that foot. You can see if the triangle's already applied, so you can definitely imagine Craig's feeling some pressure on that right foot. Oh.
It's free now, though, yeah. Out of danger.
It's almost like they wait for me to finish my sentence.
Thankfully, you didn't predict, though. So
yes.
At least
that would have been a bold prediction, winning by footlock. But you can see
from the back. Yeah, you can see him trying to step on it and
yeah, he's trying to trap
pressure
it.
or force Craig to do something different there. Craig opts to switch to the hip. He's looking at going off to the armbar as well there for a moment.
In transition to the mount position.
And if you haven't noticed, the left foot of Craig is taped, or so might be.
I actually hadn't noticed that, Brad.
Strategic decision: give up the back and attack the straight ankle lock. But yeah, strong ground there from Craig. Positional dominance all the way through.
Yeah, very much so.
But it's certainly the trademark of Gavin to come back.
Yeah, we're going to see how he comes back. Whether it's got, I think, I'm not sure how he's going to change up his game, because this is very much what he does. I mean, Craig's been able to deal with it quite effectively.
Yeah, I think you probably try and force more close guard, play rubber guard. That's where he did have success early on. And you have to avoid the hip sits. What was happening inside of the lockdown positions is Craig is just sort of savvy to it and hiding his heel behind his butt.
Yeah.
So you're not getting a good enough position. So either you've got to work more attacks off of that knee shield to get off balances in the first place, to then ultimately find your the lockdown later on, or you need to change position.
Yep.
The judges score round number 1 for Craig Ewers.
Yeah, as expected, Craig got the decision for that first round.
See if we can see an early takedown from Craig again. Because he's got to hit it within the first 10 seconds, otherwise there's going to be an immediate guard pull.
Well, you'd think, but Gavin seems to be standing on his feet and starting to pummel.
I think he wants a better attachment. Maybe he's going to jump close guard. Yeah. It's almost like he's trying to reach for like an overhook on his left side as well.
I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there. I was going to say maybe Craig will pull close guard. Pull guard.
However, much better position for Gavin to be in. Wow, that's a good counter to the rubber guard, isn't it?
Yeah, just stand up. I mean, this is going to make it very challenging to apply any of the rubber guard stuff.
Some humour from the crowd here. Probably a good choice to kind of bail out of that position.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way you're going to climb up higher and higher like that. You know.
And actually, with Craig's judo background, posture is going to be pretty strong in the back extension.
I mean, he looked solid.
Yeah, he did.
Gavin might need to look at just some more modern entries. Like, if you're going to go K-guard and the guy postures, drop down into a leg. Sorry, if you're going to go rubber guard and the guy postures out of it, drop down into the leg and start trying to work into your K-guard, sort of 50-50 entries.
Yeah, rather than abandon ship altogether and start squaring in.
Oh, nice shot into an entry into the single leg.
Oh, good defence there. From,
I think going back to our wrestling terms, that was a DDT. But again, we're now into the half guard of Gav. A position that he's very comfortable with. He does have a relatively good attachment as well.
Yeah, he's pretty close here.
Yeah, he's working on that kind of 2-on-1.
Craig is a beast, though, isn't he? That was an unbelievable movement for a 44-year-old man.
Yeah, it's interesting that Gavin's trying to use this kind of like almost like hug Craig into the position. Craig
hugging back.
Yeah, hugging, but Craig
hugging
wants
straight
to
back,
hug back.
But
he wants to
flattening
stay
out
there.
at the same time.
Yeah, 10th Planet tend to do the opposite of most things that you want in jiu-jitsu.
It's interesting. I like Gavin's actually treading on Craig's foot to try and prevent him from getting high, but again, passes.
This is an opportunity for some octopus guard, wrap around the hip, try and
I
build
actually
up.
was wondering if we're going to see that because that's right up the 10th Planet guy's street.
But now it's where are the submissions going to come from Craig? Yeah. Obviously, Gavin is sort of traditionally good at escaping with his shoulders flat. Will he give up his back?
It doesn't really look like it. Yeah, it's too inclined to turn. But Craig's also not starting to kind of isolate upper arms here. He's not really, he could potentially start to shin pin the top arm here with the right knee. Cause a bit of rotation amongst Gavin. Start to attack the arm on the opposite side. He's just quite happy. Hanging out here a minute.
He can coast to a decision victory, but of course you want the cheer of the crowd, the win by submission.
Yeah.
Looks like Gavin might be reaching over for. He has like a cross grip on the wrist. Nice mount there by Craig.
Still a relatively difficult position to set up submissions from.
Yeah.
Especially when people sort of create this shell-like posture. The shoulders round, framing on the hips. We've got a little Ezekiel choke pressure, but ultimately Gavin's not going to bring those arms up for love nor money. So you've got to force them up here.
Yeah, but again, unfortunately, it's very much all Craig at the moment. So Gavin's going to have to maybe pull out another 5-second submission at the end.
Anything's possible. 40 seconds left. I think, Craig trying to isolate head and arm position here, trying to bring the elbow up on the left side of Gavin. But again, Gavin doing a good job of defending that.
20 seconds, Craig.
Could probably do a little bit more sort of higher pressure underneath the chin or the neck and start to stretch out a little bit and isolate those arms a bit more at the moment. There we go. A bit like this, really.
He'd almost be better stepping off to knee on belly and just getting loads more movement, almost allowing Gavin... Oh.
Yeah, that is one of the things when you're so tight in position, people just tend to clamp down rather than giving you any space to work. So again, very, very solid round for Craig. This was the standing, I don't know what we would call it.
Cuddle.
Yeah, leg cuddle. This is a great entry actually by Gavin. Did a really good job, and then Craig just elevated that hip, drove the head towards the ground.
Yeah, just a bit risky with the head on the outside there of the single.
Yeah, and then it pretty much was all Craig from that point. Very dominant in his positions. Let's send it over and find out the official results.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards, and they see it for your winner, Craig Ewers.
Not to be for the comeback king.
So our next match, we have Will Southern out of Roger Gracie Bristol versus Jack Dolan from Jungle BJJ Dublin.
Let's welcome, fighting at the blue corner, Will Southern.
So Will Southern, just 19 years old, coming out of Bristol, so not far down the road. 2 times winner on Polaris, junior Pan Am champion. Again, another one of these people who's been training 10 years, so started when he was just 9 years old.
Yep. Will used to be in our elite BJJ squad sessions. That was when I was a purple belt.
And now let's welcome, fighting in the red corner, Jack Dolan.
So Jack Dolan, 25 years old, training around the same amount of time, 10 years. Four-time Polaris contenders a number of times.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, official weight 77.7 kilos, representing Roger Gracie Bristol from the United Kingdom. Let's welcome Will Southern. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, official weight 79.5 kilos, representing Jungle BJJ Dublin from Ireland, Jack Dolan.
So you can see over in Will's corner, you have Carson Coles, who we'll be seeing later, facing Owen Jones in the prelims main event.
Sounds like we've got the Bristol crew in the house tonight too.
Yeah, we do.
Bristol's just down the road from Swansea. Relatively short drive.
It's my hometown.
Will does enjoy a flying triangle in these situations, so once he's backing out. Oh, a steamer lock attempt. So if you see Jack overextend, but this is a nice bite.
Yeah, he's on the guillotine and has the arm through the middle as well. So Jack's a pretty accomplished grappler, multiple-time ADCC Ireland champion.
Well, this is certainly the match you want. Always got a tight foot.
Yeah, you can see it on Jack's face, even though he's pretending it's not there.
I love this poker face.
Yeah. Move. It's like, I'm not sure that's the best poker face that I've ever seen there.
But Will does love his straight ankle locks. He rips them as well. So, yeah, wait for any overextension. You see him just jump over the guard.
When you say overextension, you mean
like let's say that they would sort of lock their hands again, and his arm becomes too far away from his body. But Jack is aware of it. He's pulling Will into these close range guards. That's a nice little choy bar.
Nice, yeah, it's very nice.
Got the omoplata locked instead.
I think is it the omoplata, or is he switching into the Terika platter again?
Can we see the hand? Oh yeah. Yeah, it might be Terika plata. He's going to sit him down from it.
Will's got that leg kind of in between, which is just preventing the pressure. But you can see that Jack's doing a good job of trying to push the foot away. Switches into a straight armbar. Not necessarily the best position to finish from. Then onto the leg, beautiful transition. Not ideal, like, kind of leg positioning for it.
But this is what you'll see in Will Southern matches. It goes from submission to submission. Sometimes with... Oh, there it is.
He's almost in on the arm.
That's what I was talking about,
yes,
Sam.
Makes sense.
But now it looks like he's in reverse close guard, or donkey guard, as we like to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to put both knees on the mat. He's already got a strong scoop grip with his left arm. Got to be aware of this knee bar.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
tight.
extension, yeah.
Wow.
Man, it's a really good back and forth battle. Both guys in very, very tight submissions.
Yeah, this is the perfect match to have after 2 decision wins.
Yeah.
These two are trying to go home with a submission win.
Trying to go home with a limb currently.
Jack just seems like the more proficient leg locker, doing everything right.
Yeah, his technique seems a bit more crisp than Will's. Like Will is quite explosive. Oh, he saw him immediately react to that. Again, couldn't finish it though.
There's so much happening.
I mean, at this point, it's better just trying to remove himself. You see, he's sort of staying in the fight. Will needs to be taking that left leg out and just sort of starting again. Because he was dictating the pace earlier on, and then it's almost that flying armbar attempt is what's put him in peril.
And Jack's ability to chain these attacks with the lower legs, that's when it starts to become real dangerous, right? Because some things you can't quite anticipate.
Yeah, there's a clear clash of styles where... lovely false reap.
Yeah, beautiful false reap. Doesn't get the inside position, though. Nice defense by Will. Jack's going to be aware of trying to reach up with that arm this time, though.
He's still reaching, though. Yeah. There is opportunities for it.
Looking to go that single leg. Only 45 seconds left. Again, a steamer lock.
Yeah, Will's just going to sit back on footlocks to end up this round. He's just going to have to tug on one and hope for the best. But still, that flying armbar attempt was...
it was solid.
Deep, yeah.
It's hard to, from a judge's perspective, what you deem the strongest attack so far.
Yeah, this has been a real kind of back and forth match. It's not going to be easy. Again, working with that steamer lock. And again, you always see that Jack's forced to roll out of it to relieve the pressure.
Yeah, he kind of leaves that foot sort of dangling there across the chest and maybe not just quite so used to it, having people attack this steamer lock from those positions. But that's a tough call.
Yeah, difficult match.
I think realistically the tightest things was probably Jack's knee bar, followed by Jack's footlock. Will had a super tight footlock early on in the round.
Well, we had this guillotine attempt right at the start as well, and then transitioning into kind of I think he went in through to the Troika Platter type position. There's a beautiful, and the arm is super straight under there. But a really good job of defending. And then this knee bar was very tight.
Yeah.
You can see like
the wincing, the grimace.
Yeah, we need some classes on poker faces for Will, don't we?
I think he might be on that point at that point.
He's certainly a wear your heart on your sleeve kind of guy.
The judges score round number 1 for Jack Dolan.
Expect Will to go ham.
Yeah. So Polaris is sponsored by Scramble, Jiu-Jitsu clothing and equipment since 2009. Check them out at scramblestuff.com.
Straight on the guard pull there from Jack.
Yeah, and in on the legs again.
Yeah.
Into
nice
the
crab rise, yeah.
Also with the calf crush as well. Oh, and that's tight.
Oh, yeah. These are nasty. It's like ACL tearing territory. And the problem is sometimes it can be too late.
And it gives up the... he gets it. Beautiful finish.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really nice. And like the escapes from the leg locks often lead to that calf crush position. And you've started to see it become more and more common. We saw Helena Cravar, who we'll see later in the squads event, she caught it recently. But this is the finish. Locks into the hips.
Tight body lock control. Seals the deal.
Well, yeah, and then he rolled through and then extended the hips and controlled the upper body. Got that finish. Beautiful work from Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by tap out due to a calf slicer, Jack Dolan.
Yeah, really solid performance.
Yeah, he did everything right in that. Cool, calm, collected.
Great match to watch there, the two of them.
So our next match features Arya Esfandmaz versus George Pearse.
Let's welcome fighting at the blue corner, Arya Esfandmaz.
So Arya's a veteran of Polaris, competed a number of times. Despite being a very big guy, has really smooth flowing jiu-jitsu.
And now let's welcome fighting the red corner, George Pearse.
So I've seen George Pearse a few times on Polaris now. He faced Cormac Anderson, Polaris 25, and David Asir, who we mentioned earlier on Polaris 29 in that crazy match where Davis dominated the first half and then just died in the second half. Many people thought that George should have won that match. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he faces off against Arya, who I expect to be the larger of the two.
Some serious intensity to start this match, isn't there?
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, official weight 107 kilos, representing pure jiu-jitsu from the United Kingdom. Let's welcome Arya Esfandmaz. And now let's welcome his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, official weight 97 kilos, representing London Grapple from the United Kingdom. Let's welcome George Pearse.
So Polaris is sponsored by Tatami, the world's largest jiu-jitsu brand, trusted and worn by champions. Ooh, nice jumping guard there from George.
Straight into that underhook on the leg.
Yeah, Arya's shutting it down with his...
with his chest.
Yes.
This is going to be a battle of the modern game, trying to set up leg locks from George Pearse and Arya's old-fashioned sort of traditional jiu-jitsu. He's just going to try and brute him here, set up arm triangles, but George has got weight off the foot already, trying to go on the outside heel hook.
Yeah, he's already on that heel. Doesn't have great positioning for it now, though.
No, Arya doing a good job of opening out the knee.
Yep.
Arya's very flexible for a larger gentleman.
Yeah,
especially in the hips.
We've seen him do like Berimbolas, inversions, and all kinds of crazy stuff on Polaris.
This is the best way to react with these positions, is just sort of slow the pace down, let the weight go on top of your partner. And
yeah, that's kind of the opposite of what we wanted to have happen. George going back for the heel again. Arya did say he was looking forward to a bit of a leg lock battle.
Well, he needs to think about trying to clear this knee line a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, that leg is super straight. You can't really see it from the camera angle, but it is dead straight. George choosing to go to the other side, and that's allowing Arya to free it up.
This is where Arya can start to get to work, sort of while there's no attachment.
Nice shot from George pulling him back into that close guard. This was where the whole previous sequence started.
The upper body hand fighting here from Arya on top.
Yeah. It's interesting. He kind of just seems to be waiting a little bit. Maybe he's catching his breath after that kind of tense moment where he was in a very deep leg lock.
I think he's trying to set up some of his Sao Paulo passing.
Is that what you think?
So
yeah.
He's trying to see how the right arm's trying to get underneath.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to stand because he doesn't want George to get in between his legs. So I think he's opting for, can I get a strong body lock and then I'll hip switch and try and open his legs that way.
Yeah, George is kind of using this head and arm position. Trains out of London Grapple. We know Ross Nichols loves that violin armbar.
Arya has his own academy in London, in Acton, pure jiu-jitsu. I did a lot of my training there in my time in London. But yeah, we've got 2 minutes to work and not a lot of time to really invest in like pressure passing at this point.
Yeah, it kind of looks to me like Arya's trying to pass the arm underneath the back of George.
Yeah.
Where here you see him switch into that Sao Paulo position.
Now he's in a better spot.
Yeah.
And he is so big to be setting up sort of rubber guard and platters on.
Yeah, this pass has kind of become back into fashion a little bit more now. It kind of very much disappeared in the 2010s, but people started trying to utilize it again.
That worked perfectly in terms of opening the guard. It's just now George doing a really good job of trying to retract his right knee to block the hip.
Yeah, I can't see if Arya's hands are locked. It does look like they're in that S grip here.
And it's obviously locked over George's left arm.
Yeah, which is going to trap him up, so I can kind of keep that pressure. But he only has 60 seconds to work, so he needs to kind of pick up the pace a little bit if he does want to get this pass, which kind of he really needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would have been okay had the outside heel hook not existed.
And the knee bar.
Yeah. I'm not really hearing anything from Arya's corner either, in terms of like encouraging to push that pace a little bit more.
Yeah, it's almost better sort of breaking away and just sort of rifling off 2 or 3 attacks. Because at this point in time, obviously George is winning with that initial leg lock exchange.
We're just coming up to 30 seconds left on the clock here too.
Arya kind of posturing back now, standing up.
This is a better position for Arya to counter leg lock, potentially sit back on an steamer lock. But I'm wondering if he wants to put himself in those positions with George.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like right now it would be a good idea just to go for something, right? You've got 10 seconds left. Try to figure out a way to win that, or like put it in the judge's mind that you almost had the pass, or you had it in a good passing position and you tried the leg lock.
But now the opportunity to reset, start again, start afresh.
George not even moving from the center of the mat.
He's just ready to go now.
Yeah.
He is just a different person. Great strategy to jump close guard, especially with the bigger grappler.
This was a tight position. Like Arya did a much better job of poker facing, but you can see him still breathing pretty hard and really having to work out of that position. There is something kind of intimidating about having someone standing in the center of the mat when you're a bit tired.
Mind games.
Yeah. There's a few guys who really used to do that very, very well. And no matter how tired they got, they would always just be there waiting to try and crush you in the middle of the mat.
The judges score round number 1 for George Pearse.
Okay, let's see what happens in round 2.
Yeah, I mean, you may not have noticed as the people watching at home, but when George walked out, he was staring dead in the eyes of Arya immediately. So there's a lot of little mental warfare tactics, but this is a nice saddle entry.
Yeah, trying to get the elevation for almost attacking the knee bar there. Arya doing a really good job of making that leg nice and heavy.
Into reverse close guard almost, but now he's pummeling his arms inside quite nicely.
Yeah, needs to stretch open those legs. And
yeah, I mean, this is where the attack started last time.
Yeah, that 50-0 position.
He's in a much deeper grip this time. He's got that deep grip around the neck. There's no grip on the leg like there was last time. So if Arya can, maintain that and start to put the pressure down. Yeah, George back in on the leg again,
He's really good at off-balancing in those situations, which otherwise you would be dead to rights. Like, that's the main weakness of that outside heel hook position is the potential arm triangle.
I mean, he was weighing in, I think they said 97 kilos, so he's a big guy. So if you can create off balances and have that dexterous guard on the bottom, it's very difficult to deal with.
This is where Arya can really sort of invest some time in his passing, considering there's no attacks yet from George. You can go a lot harder and sort of use your slower style of passing to try and win this round.
Yeah, it's interesting. Arya's normally a lot more physical than this as well. He's kind of being very patient and kind of methodical.
Yeah, there's obviously a clear concern with that first attempt. Yeah. You saw how close it was.
He may have well got a little bit kind of gun shy. you know, about stepping in too deep. And that can make him second guess his attacks.
Yeah, each time Arya wins the upper body fight, George is retracting his bottom knee, and then it's always sort of back into like a half guard position.
Yeah, with this butterfly hook too, which is quite powerful, elevating up to get back underneath.
Arya's almost better sort of backing out and hitting some like blast Toriandos at this point.
Yeah. Out and around rather
using,
than through.
because he's a very dynamic guy for his size, but sort of he's being slowed down with these closed guard positions. And this is ultimately the perfect strategy for George, because obviously you can't have a big athletic man jump around you when he's trapped inside your legs.
Yeah, it's almost like Arya's playing at the pace of George, which he doesn't necessarily want to do. You know, I think they just got a little bit of a warning from the referee.
This is where, to start with, Arya is probably better. I mean, George is open now anyway.
George did a good job of pummeling those legs. Arya now on the inside and looking to staple it to the floor.
It's the off balances that are changing everything.
And you can see, like, he's folded in half at this point and still working on attacking that leg.
Yeah, that foot's really anchored on the hip there, which is giving it a really good space keeper. What's the word I'm looking for? Distance.
Yeah.
Monitor.
Arya trying to, you know, do this same attack they did last time. It looks like he stretched his back leg much further to try and counter the off balance of George.
He needs to bend this right heel to the hip and sort of get it below the hip line instead of above.
Yep.
Because otherwise you're just putting in like unnecessary stress on your own knee.
Yeah, he seems quite comfortable here though. But again, it's difficult now that George has started to rotate to get that upper body control to start to squash this a little bit.
Yeah, you can see that George elevates his hips, which kind of takes away Arya's balance every time that he tries to lock around the head and arm position. But George has, Arya's now at least got his knee line out of there, which is better for him.
Yeah, still very like horizontal shin position. And again, it looks like George has got still quite a good grasp on the foot there.
Yeah. Again, George trying to finish. Recaptures the knee line again. Oh. Nice. Arya's out now. Okay. And he might be in an arm as well.
Attack. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Gets the arm.
What has happened?
Switching back to... He's still on that arm. You see Arya just kind of like shoulder pressing it out.
30 seconds left on the clock.
Switch it off to the triangle.
Lock something down here.
Yeah.
Wow. What a scramble.
Interesting. We might get to see our first overtime based on that. Because that was a tight submission.
Yeah, George is brilliant at his escapes. You saw in his Dai Evs match how intelligently he escapes. But that might have come in clutch for
Interesting.
Arya. Wow.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see... I mean, that's my opinion. I think Arya won that second round.
Yeah.
But we're going to see what the judges say. This was that inversion that George kept using on the legs. Arya managed to free up the knee line then and did a beautiful job just straight away entering in towards this arm bar. Couldn't quite isolate the arm enough. And then George did a good job of timing that and avoiding the triangle.
But a lot more threat from Arya.
Yeah, much better performance from Arya.
It's hard to...
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards, and they see it for your winner, George Pearse.
So I was completely wrong. That is the curse of the announcer coming into play. But yeah, they've given it to George Pearse. So I mean, I guess in the totality of that round, there was only that one moment where Arya had the armbar, although it was quite decisive.
Yeah, tricky really, because obviously in the first round with the knee bar attempt to the other than that, it was a lot more positional control, even though that George was doing a good job of kind of getting underneath and attacking the legs. There wasn't that much of a threat there. So you could argue that, you know, there's a threat each in two rounds.
It's a very interesting decision.
tatami.
So our next match features Sergio Riquelme versus Finn Carey.
Let's welcome, fighting out the blue corner, Sergio Riquelme.
So Sergio Riquelme fighting out of Scramble Academy in Spain. Only 23 years old, black belt.
And now let's welcome, fighting of the red corner, Finn Carey.
His opponent is Finn Carey, brown belt. We've seen him on Polaris before. Lost his first two matches to Jamie Dixon, Carson Coles, who we'll see a little bit later. And then followed up with two victories against Matthias Jimenez and Nathan Kay.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, official weight 69.5 kilos, representing Scramble Academy, Spain. From Spain, let's welcome Sergio Riquelme. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, official weight 70 kilos, representing Amos Martial Arts. From Wales, Finn Carey.
So Polaris is sponsored by Zebra, the world's leading training facility outfitters. Expect this to be a pretty fast-paced match.
Yeah, Finn's got some nice wrestling. Hits some lovely fireman's carries in his previous matches.
Yeah, he's coming out of Amos, I think it's Amos Martial Arts, under Ash Amos. Very good, solid takedowns.
And obviously Sergio's from Scramble Academy Leeds, trains with the Santiri Lilias. So they've also got a strong wrestling program out there.
Nice drag down by Finn. See that explosiveness? It's quite a physical start to a match.
It is, but now we're getting like more reactions.
Yeah.
This is kind of what you want for from your stand-up game.
Do you think there's a Dragon Ball Z reference with the blue hair? Or
I don't know. He could just be color coordinating with his shorts.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Finn also color coordinated with his outfit.
Yeah, I'm not sure that is intentional. Trying that throw by, but nice little almost drop down towards the single from Sergio. Nice go, jumping on that front headlock.
Yeah.
Both guys have had nice snap downs. 90 seconds in already.
But still, a lot of the attacks are upper body, searching for underhooks or snap downs. There's not much sort of much shooting without the setup first.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of like collar tying we're seeing at the moment, digging for underhooks and stuff like that. Nice drop into the fireman's carry and switch off to the single. Jumping into the guillotine is Finn. And Sergio just shucks him off to the side.
Interesting how you score that as a referee. Do you consider the guillotine negate in the single leg or a stronger option?
It did seem like he potentially didn't want to finish because of the compromised position.
Nice blast double.
Wow.
Oh.
Onto the hard floor.
Yeah, Finn up and running back.
Lovely takedown.
Lovely takedown.
Yeah, almost through one of the boards at the back.
Start a tables, ladders and chairs match with all of our pro wrestling references today.
We just need a suitcase and money in the bank.
Oh, what?
Oh, no? Ladder?
Yeah, maybe.
There's been a lot of pro wrestling talk in this
I'm
these
forced to watch
prelims.
it.
Sam is a huge John Cena fan. So.
You know why. Yeah.
Not now, he's turned heel. I don't know. It's not my vibe anymore.
Nice duck under.
Yes.
Almost caught that.
Good defense.
That high crotch. Again, good job from Finn. Beautiful nice counter. Really good from Sergio. Finn now trumping on the legs.
Yeah, back to the triangle choke. You've got to keep mixing. Shotgun arm on the
Yeah,
left-hand side.
it's become so popular.
Okay, guard entry.
Yeah, in on the leg, but Sergio looking for his counter leg lock. And we go back to standing.
Super technical match from both of these guys.
Yeah, I wonder if...
Good job, referee.
Yeah, I wonder if Finn's going to be a little bit more hesitant to start entering into those takedowns after that counter.
Yeah, it was a strong body lock, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, he shoots for the
Nice
ankle.
leg.
Beautiful adjustment, going low.
Now he needs to maintain this pace for the last minute.
Yeah.
Just to really secure the W.
Yeah, he's trying to pressure in. Nice side-to-side movement from him. And almost getting past the legs as well. Good job from Sergio to recover.
Yeah, I mean, Finn put himself sort of back inside the legs.
Oh, and he's into the knee bar, and that's
tight.
tight.
As well.
That's a tight knee bar.
I think it helps he's got the left leg in there.
I mean,
Finn, but
Finn's trying to come up to the back with it.
And a leg drag, yeah.
Man,
trying to use the crab ride.
Oh.
What a back and forth
Nice
match.
Yeah, beautiful transitions. Again, Finn back into passing again. He was having some, getting some good positions using this position. Oh, we got a bicep crush. Sergio forced to let go. Again, Finn trying to switch side to side.
Forced to let go, but did a really good job at retracting that knee to
And now jumping on the knee bar
bar
himself. An excellent choice from Finn, in all honesty. You know, and he's onto the toe hold. Great battle back and forth.
Yeah. I guess that's the perks of the lighter guys as well.
Who have you got for this one, Brad?
Oh, mate. I'm glad that I'm sat behind this table and not a judge's table.
Sam?
Tricky to call, I think.
Putting you under...
I think you've got to go Sergio. I think...
I don't know. I think honestly, Finn might get it. I'm normally wrong, though. But he did, he hit some of those takedowns. It was Sergio's reversal rather than his entry that got Sergio on top. Then he hit that lovely ankle pick.
Yeah, I mean... Finn is certainly initiating, but Sergio's doing a brilliant job of countering. The same with the passing situations.
The judges score round number 1 for Finn Carey.
Yeah. For once, I'm actually correct. Maybe I'm getting these rules down. But yeah, Polaris isn't just about submissions. It's also about getting that positional dominance as well. And being the initiator of action. So I can understand why they gave that to Finn.
Yeah, he definitely took over in the last portion of the match.
Yeah, nice sprawl by Finn.
We'll see what adaptations Sergio's make in this round.
So still heavy on the collar ties here. Looking for the reactions. A lot more of the lower body attacks this time. In this match, I mean.
Yeah.
And I guess what we'll continue to see probably the stand-up game because of the success in the first round with the takedowns.
Yeah.
Rather than a change of direction.
Yeah, I mean, Finn was doing a good job on top in passing as well. Although, like Sergio did get some leg entries.
Oh.
Nice Finn diving on that low ankle pick,
Stay
going
on
head
that
inside. Nice job. We don't often see this head inside single, but it's a... Oh, that's beautiful transition to the armbar.
If he can stay on a bit of thumb control here, he might be...
Nice recovery from Finn. Going to the wrist lock.
That's a strong reverse hitchhiker there, straight into a passing situation.
But now Finn is in this over-under position.
This is the time to get to work. If you're Finn, start pressuring on for
when you're in this close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially after like sort of that moral loss of you had a match-winning position.
Yeah, you can see now Sergio is searching for grips, starting to off-balance, whereas the moment after that armbar came out, he was very static. Finn trying that row drag. And Finn... Sergio wrestling up on the single. Nice little... Very nice little wrestle up. Finn looks like he's almost got the double under position.
Yeah, I think Sergio defending palm to palm when they're keeping the elbows closed here, which is kind of killing the position.
Yeah, and that head in the center as well.
Finn's definitely having more success when he's literally just shooting.
Yeah.
Like he shot a couple of low ankles that turned into higher leg single legs, and that's where he's getting his takedowns from.
Yeah, going into the...
Shooting for a high crotch.
Yeah, nice front headlock though from Sergio.
It's very popular in the no-gi world to just play upper body and try and kick the shins in the hope of either like, just getting a front headlock or a back exposure. This is very sort of Gordon Ryan-esque techniques.
Yeah.
But
I guess the risk for Finn, obviously, the last with the armbar, with Sergio jumping on the armbar after he shot and kind of lost the initial, had to shoot for a low ankle instead, and then ended up in an armbar position. That might be in the back of his mind a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he could just transition that by actually standing up with the foot, by coming out to the leg, by abandoning the position. Nice shot from Sergio. Referee sprinting across the stage.
yeah, ultimately Finn sort of sat still in that low single for a little bit too long, and that's where the opportunity arose for that sort of spiral armbar.
I mean, it's very nice. If he had a little bit more hand control.
Finn trying to jump into a triangle.
I mean, I'm happy to have an extra overtime for this match. This is
very exciting. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's still 60 seconds to go, and Finn's entering in towards the leg again. We've already seen one calf crush come out, and now he's like locking into the hips again. He needs to be careful of this inside leg. You can see Sergio roll through with it.
There we go. Sweep for Finn.
Yeah, I mean, again, Finn engaging in that action again. Bit deeper through the pass this time, but nice recovery from Sergio, just bench pressing him off.
Yeah, it's almost like the narrative of the match has been Finn starting and Sergio doing
Sergio
a really
kind of
good
countering.
counter.
Looks like Finn was thinking about falling back on her leg. Tries to dive in.
Yeah, I guess strategically here, 30 seconds left. Well, 25 seconds. What are the options to secure this round?
If you're Finn, maybe sit back on a straight ankle.
He's trying to, yeah.
Oh, that's
has to be careful of the position. I mean, to be fair, he's going for that short footlock, and it's forcing Sergio to defend. Sergio's doing an amazing job with his poker face.
Yes, but great position to finish in.
Yes.
In the last 10 seconds. Wow.
Interesting. We're going to see if it goes to that overtime or whether Finn did enough to secure that second round. This was that low single. And he just kind of, Finn stopped for a second. And then Sergio did a great job of just spiraling around into that armbar.
That was the attempted flying triangle.
Yeah, or flying up kick, I'm not sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the judges score round number 2 for Sergio Riquelme. We will now go to an overtime round to decide the winner.
Okay.
Wow.
This is our first overtime in the prelims of the night.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy about this. This is a good, exciting match. Both guys doing some great jiu-jitsu. They favored Sergio, by guessing, for that really tight armbar.
And obviously now we've got the dynamic to deal with of having a 3-minute match.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fine flower sweep attempt.
A nice job entering in on the legs, though. Straight away for Finn. You can hear his corner trying to encourage him to control that far leg.
His reclaimed knee line is in a much better 80-20 position.
Yeah.
He is, but he's lost that top leg position.
And he's looking at coming on top with it as well.
Yeah.
Nice job from Finn. Sergio does seem to have kind of slowed down just a little bit. Finn trying to roll through towards the back. Sticking with that leg is Finn. Nice job. Really nice adjustment for Finn to switch to pulling guard. Because now obviously there's no risk of the counter takedowns from Sergio.
Yeah, the pace that both of these guys have been able to maintain has certainly take a toll on both athletes at this point.
Sergio doing a good job of getting inside. Finn almost shooting for that kind of spiraling triangle. Back in on the leg again. Sergio just nice. Transition out towards the knee bar.
Attempt on a knee wedge back take.
No,
Yeah,
he needs to get more attachment to the hip. And switching off to the footlock.
Again, coming up for the top position instead.
Yeah, it's Finn again sitting down. Nice tactic from Finn.
Sergio's doing a great job of trying to force the guard pass here.
Yeah, but Finn's guard retention
Finn,
is...
it was very nice. Just spiraled through. Needs to be careful overextending his legs into the shallow K. Nice job from Sergio. But again, Finn recovers. Man, this is going to be a tough round to score again. Finn looks like he's trying to spiral through again.
I think we're seeing more threats, or at least entering in from Finn, and a bit more.
It's definitely it's definitely countering from Sergio. He's trying on the footlock.
Yeah, now it may have changed the dynamic a little bit.
But again, it came off Finn's leg entanglement. He was
yeah.
trying to spin through, and Sergio countered that.
And he's back on top position as
He's
well.
back in top position. Finn being a little bit more insistent on this front headlock.
This is going to be the deciding moment.
Yeah, 18 seconds. Finn needs to go if he wants it. Oh, he should have blast double or something.
Whoa. There's a great jump over attempt there from Sergio.
Yeah, good timing as well with just a few seconds left in the round. Now Finn trying to pummel for that leg again.
That is a tough one to call.
Yeah, Sergio looks super tired. I'm sure he's glad it was only 3 minutes and not 5. He can barely lift his arms up. So this is that end, I think, the jumping kind of cartwheel pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards, and they see it for your winner, Finn Carey.
So yeah,
Match to call, but yeah, I think
no,
that's
very
fair
close
decision.
match, super close. I could have kind of seen it gone either direction. Maybe I think the judges might have just favoured Finn being a bit more active in that last 3 minutes. He was the one initiating. So yeah, really good showing from Finn.
Finn moves on to 3 wins.
Yeah, 3 and 2. And he's faced some tough opponents as well. Like every match has been a challenging opponent for him. So it's great to see him back in that win column.
item from this illusion. And you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, or shall I say, death implies life. You can feel yourself. Not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental.
So our next match features Libby Genge versus Ashley Bendle.
Let's welcome, fighting in the blue corner, Libby Genge.
So Libby Genge, only 21 years old, fighting out of Manchester. She has been on a little bit of a tear recently. She got Nogi Worlds bronze. She just got bronze at Worlds. She just won a competition called Kairos that I run, where actually she was in a division with Ashley, although they're on different sides of the bracket. Put on an amazing performance in that, so it's great to see her on Polaris again.
And now let's welcome, fighting the red corner, Ashley Bendle.
Ashley Bendle, currently based in Bristol. Been training for 23 years. Currently a black belt, yes. She's only 28, so that gives you a rough indication of when she started.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. She stands 5 feet 2 inches tall, official weight 56.5 kilos, representing Stealth Genge from the United Kingdom. Let's welcome Libby Genge. And now her opponent across, fighting out of the red corner. She stands 5 feet 4 inches tall, official weight 57.2 kilos, representing Roger Gracie Bristol. From Wales, Ashley Bendle.
So Polaris 32 Fight Clock is brought to you by Timex. A Timex on your wrist is a reminder that time belongs to you. Get yours now at timex.com.
Very much looking forward to how this match pans out.
Yeah. I mean, Libby is someone who I've seen around the sport for such a long period of time. And it's great to see her kind of go from like the kids through to the juveniles and now into the adults as well. Very nice reversal from Ashley.
Yeah, I mean, same for Ashley. I feel like Ashley, I can't believe like she's only 28. Not that she looks any older, but just that she's been around so long. Every major tournament, she was there.
And training 23 years.
23 years.
Yeah. Like, that's longer than I've been training.
Yeah, me too. Nice Kimura trap from Libby on the bottom. She can use this to enter into the legs.
Yeah, still holding on to that Kimura. I've been watching Libby compete quite a lot. She's got some really solid wrestling as well.
Yeah, she's competed at a few freestyle wrestling tournaments, hasn't she? Been successful there. And this is tends to be occasionally her game, playing the deep half guard. She's in a position that isn't unfamiliar for her.
Yeah.
Almost like using the gi style sort of Bernardo Faria grips. But this is also a really good position just to enter into the legs once you can pass sort of the knee and hip line.
Yeah, Ashley's been very, very patient on top.
Yeah, I see that foot's in quite a shallow position there.
Yeah, I think Libby's kind of like stretching her other leg out. I can't really see from this angle. But Ashley is in a great position. I'm surprised she's not being more kind of aggressive, either entering towards the legs or trying to backstep and come around.
Here's a good octopus for Libby to go into. She's got a heel underneath the calf. She wants knee line inside. So you can just about make out Ashley's knee sort of still down towards the mat.
Yeah, but she's trying to get underneath it, and if she does, she can get towards the back.
This is a vulnerable position for Ashley.
Yep. Having that arm kind of tied through as well, although Libby managed to clear it quite effectively.
Whenever I play my octopus, I just prioritise hip bump sweep pressure, and then usually you get the post and then you can chair sit behind.
Yeah.
In no-gi, it's just very difficult to get to the perfect grips that you're searching for, but immediately back into this Bernardo Star half guard, referencing the jiu-jitsu legend Bernardo Faria, that everyone will now know him for his BJJ Fanatics page, but he was once the great world champion.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a great honour to meet him, wouldn't it?
A huge honour.
Huge honour, yeah. Nice, Libby trying to get out the back and in on the single. Oh my goodness, that's that kind of wrestling.
Yeah, it's definitely almost like a post on the head, comeback.
Yeah, bridging
position.
out of stuff.
Very dynamic.
Nice recovery.
Needs to be aware of the saddle entries from Ashley as well.
Yeah.
That definitely seems to be a strong theme at Roger Gracie Bristol.
Yeah, collecting the second leg here too, so it would be a good position to end up in if we can
Libby
get...
did a great job of staying on top though. And just kind of rebalancing over the top to avoid Ashley being able to really secure the position that she wants to be in. This is like Tornado guard from
just about to say the same,
Cyborg, right? Way back in the day.
Yeah, now you're showing your age.
Yeah, I know, right? Diving on the toe hold.
We've got a little shootout here.
I mean, as Ashley's been training longer than I have, she probably knows that too.
Yes.
Although she probably would have been like 8 at the time.
So Libby doing a great job here of defending that left leg, which Ashley's looking to attack either from like in a straight, she's classic straight knee bar position.
Yeah.
Equally, live by the sword, die by the sword, right? You expose your
then you
own
got
feet.
the dueling toe holds.
Yes.
We've only got a minute left in this match. Again, Libby trying to come up to that octopus position.
Yeah, if she builds height, comes up on her elbow or her hand, she's going to be in a much better position to actually take the back from this.
Because she has really nice control with this right hook.
Yeah, it looks like she's almost kind of using like a lockdown position here.
Yeah. Yeah, just build up, Libby. Take a sweep.
It's interesting that she may just be waiting closer towards the end of the match. Like, there's only really one time for one scramble now, I would say.
Yeah.
So if she just bides her time a little bit, and then she can start building that post. As you said, Brad.
Okay.
And this is what you were talking about earlier, right?
Yes, and then the scramble for the back chase. So I don't think Libby is necessarily looking for that post. She's looking for the off balance to then chase the back.
Ashley did a great job avoiding the back attack at that point. But Libby's straight in on the legs. Though, so
she's attacking it straight away. She should drive on something. Nice work there from Libby.
Great way to end the first round.
Yeah, a very close round as well. So I'm not, again, it's going to be interesting to see which way it goes.
Yeah, I think that final exchange could have sealed the deal. But it was a lot of deep half guard and octopus.
That was a nice little kind of counter movement by Ashley there.
But this exchange and the change of position, I think with the deep half and the octopus, it kind of was a little bit static.
See how high the arch on that bridge was?
I know, it was crazy, right? I mean, I know I've seen Libby training some wrestling, so I'm sure she's doing that all the time in the wrestling room.
Yeah, fair play to her. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting to see what changes Ashley makes going into round 2.
Yeah.
The judges score round number 1 for Libby Genge.
Interesting.
Yeah, tricky to call though.
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
think it's completely fair either way. So you have to make a grip to pull guard, which I think is a very fair rule.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you want to give the person on top at least the opportunity to be able to attack. And if someone just sits down, there's never that opportunity to close the space as they're pulling. Libby again using that bridge to pass and stay on top.
Yeah, she almost kind of completely contorts her body to be able to recover back to the top position, and it doesn't really compromise anything there.
No, you see it again, it's beautiful.
Exactly.
And gets on top and passes.
For women's trained wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, not
or
if it is.
Gymnastics,
this
maybe, one of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still got a really strong front headlock here.
Yeah, but she had the chin strap as well, right?
It's almost better utilising this as trying to set up the 180 armbar. Oh, there we go, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice. She's got a great armbar as well. Gets the position. Oh, it's super tight bend, and Ash gets the submission.
Wow. Textbook technique.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, I think the bridge was a little bit different, but I mean, it was amazing. You see that? Yeah, just holding onto that chin strap, spinning through, throwing the leg over.
Solid
and then catching, and then just beautiful finish with that armbar. Controlling the thumb line, elevating the hips. Really nice work from Libby.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by tap out due to an armbar, Libby Genge.
Very nice. Ladies, get training your wrestling.
Yeah.
And your 180 armbars.
And your gymnastics. So our next match features Ellis Younger versus Tom Barry.
Let's welcome, fighting at the blue corner, Ellis Younger.
So Ellis, no stranger to the Polaris stage, fought many, many times on this show. Very, very accomplished grappler. I kind of a bit of a breakout winning Nogi Worlds as a brown belt, but then came back, I think, a couple of years later and ended up winning a bronze medal as well.
And now let's welcome, fighting the red corner, Tom Barry.
Tom Barry, originally from Wales. I believe he's now training in Bristol as well. Finished 4th at the ADCC trials. Has fought on Polaris before. It was quite a few years ago though, where he faced Lloyd Cooper.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, official weight 80.3 kilos. Representing Northeast Jiu-Jitsu from the United Kingdom, let's welcome Ellis Younger. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, official weight 80.3 kilos. Representing Aries Jiu-Jitsu and Roger Gracie Bristol from Wales, Tom Berry.
Polaris is sponsored by Warrior, created the world's tastiest protein bar. Try Warrior Crunch today. This is actually the third in a trilogy of matches between these guys. They're both one apiece.
Wow.
Both winning by submission as well. Ellis won via a triangle, I believe, in Liga Europeans, and then Tom won their most recent match, I think it was, via a heel hook, I think.
Yeah, he sat back from guard and heel hooked him. So I imagine similar tactics going into this. Keep the outside passing going. Once you're on the outside of Ellis's shins, then you can sit to guard. But we can see some of his, 2006 Jiu-Jitsu from his half guard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Both of these guys are severely underrated in this country.
Yeah.
The achievements that they have should garner sort of more respect for the pair of them. As you said, Tom Barry getting 4th place at ADCC trials and is in that 77 kilo division, which is just murderer's row. And Ellis Younger, anyone that's able to achieve a medal at the World Championships in the black belt division is sort of next level.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, he also had that amazing performance on the last Polaris as well against Jonathan Williams, Officer Grimy, where he came out, took his back and caught him in a rear naked choke.
Yeah, he looked brilliant.
He looked great, and he's looked really good on the vast majority of his performances in Polaris as well. I think one of the things I always find kind of different about Ellis is just how long his limbs are.
Yeah, especially for the weight class.
Yeah. So you know if he gets underneath you and starts to elevate up, like with the length of his legs, you can definitely lock down some limbs and attack them from there.
I mean, I was watching his match back with Tom, and when he finally got the triangle, it's like his foot was halfway down his knee was halfway down his shin. It wasn't like, and Tom's got fairly broad shoulders. Nice inversion from Ellis. Ellis looking at Roy rolling through again for the leg.
So again, the difficulty with out and around passing with the long legs is that, you've got quite a far way to go out and around, and then equally when somebody's quite flexible, going through the legs is also challenging.
Yeah, I mean, Ellis is just really good at poking these feet back across the opposite sides. He's using it to enter into the legs. That's a nice K-guard entry we're seeing right now.
Yeah, he's trying to drop in behind the knee.
But it's almost wondering where Ellis wants to go from it. Obviously, a lot of his attacks are more upper body. I mean, he needs to be careful of the triangle choke, underhooking legs like that. But Ellis's sort of main attacks seem to come from the upper body, the arm bars, triangles, whereas obviously Tom Barry's got the leg locks to fall back on. So it's sort of deciding strategy-wise whether or not entering into Tom's legs is the right decision to go.
Well, I feel like he may be intentionally trying to get to the back from these positions rather than necessarily just attack the upper body.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, or he may be using the threat of the upper body to then latch onto the the lower body to attach to the upper body. Trying a little bit of a wrestle up from the guard. You only got 90 seconds left in this round. Which again, there's not a huge amount I would have said that's happened. Ellis now trying to work on that guard.
That's a really strong grip. See this cross wrist to tricep to set up those choi bars. It's almost like, again, you're trying to get enough of a bite to get someone to hold your head in the first place so that you can set up the armbar. Because at this high level, it's you get a sniff of something and then the guy's noticed it and pulled his arm out.
Crowd's filling up.
But yeah, so far we've got a lot of attempted leg entries and defence.
K-guard on the left-hand side.
From here.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of the round, Ellis is the one who's attacking these things, and it's just Tom who's being forced to defend.
Prepare yourself for some sit-back leg locks.
Yeah.
This is a strong position for Ellis to be in the close guard.
Yeah, he's trying to... Goes up to the triangle again. Just punches that arm into the center and throws the legs high.
Tom's all a little bit too wise to it then.
Yeah.
With good posturing.
Again, trying to work on that K guard.
Yeah, Tom's staying very heavy on that left leg. All the weight going through that left to prevent the elevation.
Yeah, only 10 seconds left. Ellis trying to get it. Tom now working again to try and pass. Better passing position for Tom. Ellis really struggling to keep that frame in.
Yeah, that was
Oy, wow. Right on the...
Yeah, I thought Ellis yelled stop, but it was actually the referee. Yeah. I'm surprised that, you know, I mean, that was a good bite on that heel from Tom.
At least he knows going into the next round what he needs to be really sort of putting effort into. But that's where the success came in Tom's win with Ellis.
Yeah, you see him jump on it here, and Ellis really reacts fast. You know, so he's very aware of that threat and that danger. And if you can get Ellis reacting to those leg locks, it's going to start opening. It's going to make him more cautious with playing those frames.
But that sort of fear or the entry into the leg at the very end came from the tighter passing entry.
Yeah.
We saw Tom Barry did a much better pass attempt.
Problem is now Ellis is going to be on guard.
The judges score round number 1 for Tom Barry.
Yeah, Tom's getting the first round. I'm guessing for that leg lock at the end.
Well, that was literally clutch then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, Ellis has got to go for broke.
Yeah, see, Tom seems to have picked up the pace already in this round.
Yeah, he does a really good job of tripoding, you know, being able to extend his arms but keep his legs and his body back away from Ellis that he can't enter under even when he's trying to pass.
He does a good job of just matching people. Yeah. Like, obviously, when Ellis slows down, then he conserves his energy. You notice at the start, Ellis is sort of fiery because he recognises he lost the first round. You see the hand fight, he's coming up to combat base to try and wrestle up now. He wants to try and make a change, so then Tom is having to reciprocate. But ultimately, Ellis is better doing what he did in round 1 and continuing, but just going a little bit harder on whatever it is, because he had success for pretty much 4 minutes and 58 seconds of round 1. It's just there wasn't enough to go from it, whereas then Tom Barry obviously had that outside heel hook that obviously clutched in the victory.
It looked like Tom was thinking about falling back for that leg again.
Didn't it? Yeah.
It's the problem with posting up on the hip, as Ellis keeps doing. You see Tom's then again going towards it. He is favouring the left side of Ellis. And you hear his corner calling for him to start that outside passing again.
Yeah, this is where obviously if Ellis can make any adjustment, it's playing inside position, half butterfly position, butterfly half, to try and get inside of his partner's legs. But obviously, your game is your game, and he's obviously very successful with outside leg entries like these K guards and close guard positions.
Yeah, Tom's doing such a good job though, keeping his weight back and away from Ellis. It's a lot of energy to try and keep getting underneath.
He does have a strong hip bump triangle. That's a classic go-to for this close guard position. So
could be what he's thinking about here.
But you just have to be aware once the guard does open, off of any potential attack from Ellis, there is an opportunity for Tom to sit down. Nice.
He's reaching all the way through to that back leg. Don't forget, coming up next after this, we have Owen Jones versus Carson Coles in our main event of the prelims. That should be an absolute barn burner. And then after a short break, we will have the main card, the women's squads. Team USA versus Team Europe.
Who are you excited to see out of that, Tom?
I think it's really interesting. There's some really great competitors in there. I'm a big fan of Selma Vick. I think she has some great jiu-jitsu, and she's very, very attacking in the stuff that she does.
Yeah.
We got Ellis on a footlock here instead. Tom initially sat back.
Ellis trying to get that wrestle up, but can't quite get it.
Tom is just so tough to score on. You see Ellis, he put him under a couple of different situations to come up for the sweep. and Tom's just been able to maintain this top position.
Yeah, he's staying super heavy in these positions. You see him sprawling those hips out. Now it looks like he's diving on the leg again. Ellis trying to use the inversion to wrestle up, but can't quite make it.
Yeah, almost in an attempt to sort of change the pace of the match. Ellis is getting a little bit more, I don't want to say desperate, but he's trying to make something happen that's different to round one.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing a pretty good job. It has been, he's been more aggressive, he's been changing the pace, he's been going up, going down. You know, so again, we've got about a minute left.
Both staying on their feet now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd consider flying arm bars, flying triangles from Ellis.
In all honesty, that feels like it would be painful.
Yeah, not your game.
I did it once and nearly knocked myself out, so like, no.
I mean, mine's the famous flying flower sweep. It tends to be my go-to.
That feels a little bit less risky, though, for you to kind of slide off and bang on the floor in comparison to an armbar.
Yeah,
armbar.
I mean, I take overhooks to gather the attachment first.
Tom in on the leg.
Yeah.
Ellis looking to wrap up the head.
This is
the pipe.
Ellis trying to sweep him over the top. It looks like he's in on the neck quite well. It's not a great position. It's right by the camera. You can see the camera having to pull back and away from it.
If he keeps his hands locked, this is the most...
Yeah, there can't be long left in this match either.
No, yeah.
Interesting.
There's the buzzer.
So, can we get 2 buzzer beater submissions to bring us into overtime?
Wow. I mean, I don't know. Who you got, Brad?
I'm going to have to go with Ellis on that guillotine attempt.
Okay.
I again, depends, because I would say that Ellis was winning round 1. Tom clutched it with the submission. You would say Tom was probably winning round 2. And then the only submission attempt was going to be that guillotine right at the very end. So if it follows the same line as judging from round 1, which you would anticipate it would.
You think it will go to another round?
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards, and they see it for your winner, Tom Berry.
Interesting, giving it to Tom. We obviously thought he did enough with that takedown. He did initiate the action in that. That was forced to counter.
This is why we're on comms and we're not the judges.
It's the curse of the commentator again.
I just wanted another 3 minutes.
Yeah, me too. Sometimes you just hope for that, right?
It's hard to separate the two of them. There really wasn't much in there. But just both goes to show the level of both of them. As we said earlier in the match, these are both highly accomplished athletes from this country.
Yeah, very, very close match.
We are going to fully kit out the gym with the best match you've ever seen.
Completely upgraded the mat space by about 20 times. Absolutely outdone themselves with everything that they've done. A sprung floor with like best match you can get, Zebra. It's unbelievable what they've done. Honestly, like I've never walked on a mat that's like this before. I cannot wait to watch the reactions of all the fight team as they come in and see it for the first time.
Glad this is it.
It's really special, isn't it?
It's sound, isn't it?
The biggest moment of our whole gym's life was that night for us all.
I can't wait to train on them now.
So it is time for our main event of these prelims. We have Owen Jones facing Carson Coles.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I get your attention for just one moment. Our longest serving Polaris judges and a veteran of the first ever Polaris event, Mr. Ali Geddes, is in the building here tonight. He is currently fighting a battle with cancer. If we could just take a minute to show our appreciation and support, I'm sure Ali would appreciate it. So how about a big round of applause? Put your hands together for one of the legends of UK Jiu-Jitsu, Mr. Oliver Geddes. Thank you. Let's continue action and welcome out of the blue corner, Owen Jones.
So Owen Jones, just 20 years old, exploded onto the world scene. An amazing performance in ADCC 2023. Submitting both his opponents, Gabriel Souza in the first round, and then Gerberg in the second.
And now let's welcome, fighting in the red corner, Carson Coles.
His opponent is Carson Coles. Again, another young competitor, 22 years old, training for 11 years. Had an amazing performance against Keith Churchuk. Very, very close match. Most recently win over Ross Lowry.
Let's get the action started. Our next bout is in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, official weight 77.5 kilos. Representing Apex Jiu-Jitsu Atlanta from the United Kingdom, let's welcome Owen Jones. And now let's welcome his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, official weight 75.3 kilos. Representing Roger Gracie Bristol from the United Kingdom, Carson Coles.
Polaris is brought to you by Timex. Timex on your wrist is a reminder that time belongs to you. So Owen, normally competing in around the 66 division, but he has bulked up a little bit to 77 for this match.
This wasn't the original planned match though, was it?
No, I believe he got this kind of shorter notice. But look at him diving on that arm. It's a very, very submission-oriented game. Carson has a more kind of pressuring type game where he leans his weight on his, makes his partner get tired, and slowly wears them down. Owen's very, very dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue this is potentially like a mismatch in terms of Owen's accolades and achievements, and nothing to take anything away from Carson. But, and, you know, naturally you might feel that you have a bit more pressure from the underdog who has nothing to lose but coming up against, you know, a slightly bigger name in that position. But I don't really feel like Owen is probably affected by that.
No. Owen's a very confident young man. I mean, there's a beautiful movement there. Really great transition to attack straight out of that pass attempt. He said that he wanted to try to finish a side ankle lock was his goal.
Okay. This could be what we're going to see.
Yeah, these guys have actually fought 2 times before, with Owen actually winning both of those matches, but I don't think they've fought for since their purple belt days.
As I understand it, did Owen started jiu-jitsu because of his sister, I think. So I think his sister started jiu-jitsu, and he went along to accompany her, and then carried on himself to become the athlete that he is today.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that either. Yeah.
Maybe I'm making it up. I'm sure I read this somewhere.
He's working on that footlock position. There's this little short Achilles lock that's become quite popular. Some people call it like a pato lock or a trend lock.
And especially with this triangle over the knee position. I mean, he's a little bit higher now, but earlier is a little bit earlier. And I imagine that's a little bit of pressure on there
Trying
as
to,
well.
yeah, he's trying to get it. The benefit of that short position is it does allow you to kind of press the knee away and therefore apply a little bit more pressure. Owen's really working on it.
Yeah, Carson's doing a really good job of defending, and now escaped the position too.
Yeah, it was a lovely little pirouette. One of the problems if you get too hyper-focused on a single submission is you can lose a lot of the opportunities, and it becomes very easy to read what's happening.
Yeah, you're telegraphing, aren't you? And
yeah.
It's also going to weigh on Owen to be attempting all of these different submissions and then not actually finish them when he's been so bold with his predictions.
Oh, yes.
Every time Carson escapes, he's going to be building confidence, and every time Owen loses a potential submission, he's going to be thinking, oops, what do I do now?
Well, you've got to back yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, of course.
These collar tie head snaps are aggressive.
But yeah, this is obviously an opportunity for Carson to cement himself as one of the best grapplers in the country.
Yeah, he seems to be being a little bit more tentative. Like normally we see him being a little bit more kind of pressure heavy in these positions.
It's also a...
Owen's on the arm again.
Wow.
Nice transition out of the omoplata and then into that kind of K-guard position.
He connects his upper body submissions with the lower body so well.
Yeah, he's super fluid at blending everything together.
And also, it seems like everyone is really good at defending armbars.
That's true. Maybe that's the new no-gi meta.
Yeah.
Defend the armbar and end up on top somehow.
But yeah, we're at a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, this time has gone quick.
So far, it's been all Owen in terms of the arsenal of attacks.
Yeah.
But Carson is he's holding his own at this point.
Yeah, I mean he's not really able to do anything though. He's kind of posting on Owen a little bit. He's trying to go there side to side.
But Owen's about just a thigh drag. Owen's clearly very confident in his guard in this position, kind of in a almost like a north-south position, but able to invert from there. He's just waiting for Carson to step in with the leg, and then he'll entangle himself in.
Yeah, I mean, one of the problems with this position where his feet are so close to Owen when he's north-south is he can't close the space very quickly. Like, his legs are just in the way.
Yeah.
So there's not that huge threat from Owen. If his legs were further, or for Owen, if his legs were further back, then he might have a better chance of being able to get in there. But again, Owen just working, looking for that counter, dives in on the leg now. Goes to that reverse close guard.
Got to his signature position with a couple of seconds on the clock.
What?
His signature position is inverted close guard.
I'm a fan of it myself.
Donkey guard.
But yeah, I obviously saw a couple of bites on that sideways ankle lock at the start of the match. Nice Choi bar entry right at the very end, or shotgun armbar.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be. I wonder how Carson's going to change up his strategy.
I mean, ultimately, if Owen pulls guard, there isn't much you can do, is there?
I was just thinking the same, yeah.
Try and pull fast.
The judges score round number one.
Owen might just sit down and we'll end up in some kind of leg spaghetti.
Yeah, if you sit to the mat, you're into a shootout of legs, which is obviously where Owen wants to be. So either you've just got to completely up the pace of your passing, because as you said earlier, like Carson's a little bit more pressure-based with his passing style.
And face palms.
Yeah. Owen trying to drag that arm. Again, he's inverting towards that leg. Carson's just like pinning the feet to try and avoid him being able to throw the leg over the top. Owen switching into kind of like a wader position here.
Yeah, I was going out to X. Oh, back into...
Back into the outside Ashley again. Same position. Carson trying to free up the legs.
But Owen has gone up against such high-level competition over the last year or so since winning ADCC trials that his stock has just skyrocketed.
Yeah. Oh, he's had some amazing performances, you know. He's Julian Espinosa, who we've seen a couple of times. He competed against him, and I think he took his back and choked him.
Yeah, that was showing off his D1 All-British wrestling.
Yes, yeah. You know, and Julian Espinosa is a very, very good, very good BJJ player.
Yeah, we've seen him on the Polaris stage a couple of times. But I think sometimes that's just the difference in these matches is just the experience that Owen Jones has been able to have and the level of competition he's gone up against.
Yeah, trying to go for that false sweep. It feels a bit like Carson's kind of run out of ideas almost of what he can do to kind of figure out this guard of Owen Jones. Owen's almost going into an omoplata there, it looked like. Into that, and now he can go back to that. Can he go back to reverse close guard? Not quite.
No,
but he can start entering into the leg,
yeah.
I think he wants to set that up. That's why he's sort of overextending this left leg.
Yeah.
I think he's sort of baiting Carson to move the foot from his hip.
Owen trying to shoot up to the triangle, goes towards the leg. This is a pretty decent bite.
Out, yeah.
Yep. Owen trying to hold onto that foot to keep the knee line inside.
I mean, Carson's doing a brilliant job sort of negating any of these attacks, making sure they don't get any worse.
Yeah.
But he is, unfortunately, on the receiving end of all of these attacks.
Yeah, Owen trying to pummel again. Tracing towards the back this time.
I thought he might consider coming up there into the leg drag position, but I think the heel also presented itself.
I think Carson was already too far out of it, so he decided to fall back towards the legs. Well, I know Owen's going to be very upset if he can't get the submission in this match, but...
Yeah, because albeit this is not a matchup that Owen Jones is sort of forced to take.
No.
I mean, like, this is a guy that's got submission wins over Gabriel Souza and being competitive with Diego Pato.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
Switching into this 50-50, again, trying to work, lets go of it. Now Carson's still trying to do the same thing, trying to frame.
But obviously, Owen is the 66 kilo member for Team Europe at the Craig Jones Invitational. So this might be a way of just being as active as possible leading up to that in the summer.
Yeah,
this is a good position for Carson.
I approve. Oh, I thought he'd gone cradle, but he hadn't. That would have made me happy. I love a cradle. It's great against people who false sweep you.
See if Owen goes on the bear trap.
Yeah, it's there for him. Carson just standing out of it.
It seems like he's really insistent on the footlock.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he said he wanted to get. I'm not sure he's quite been in the position for it yet, and Carson's doing a good job of preventing anything getting too deep.
Good defense from Carson. The spin to the knee line.
Yeah.
Now he's back in an open position where he can try to pass. 30 seconds left. He probably really needs to try and lock this down a little bit here with
Carson dropping into the leg and captures that secondary leg now as well. This is a good position. This is by far the best position for Carson. But Owen doing a good job, and he's going to roll for the back.
Yeah.
Carson just laying flat.
Lovely stomp bowler.
Yeah. Owen's still chasing it. He's getting good control. Carson did a good job of scrambling away.
Yeah, losing that upper body control.
Yeah. Trying to get that guillotine. Craig dropping towards the crab ride. Oh, Craig, sorry.
Brilliant exchanges all the way through. But ultimately, almost a moral victory on the side of Carson.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good entry that he got towards the back. I mean, the leg entry that he had right at the end was great. It was deep, he can capture both legs, but Owen did a good job of scrambling and then reinverting. And then this is where he always took the back.
I thought that final sort of leg lock exchange was going to be the one for Owen, but Carson did such a good job sort of stepping on the foot that he cleared his legs immediately.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards, and they see it for your winner, Owen Jones.
So yeah, really solid work by Owen. Very, very good guard play. And then a beautiful sequence at the end, defending that double trouble and almost taking the back.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm here with your winner, Owen Jones. Thank you for such an exciting fight to finish off our prelims. It wasn't the first time you fought Carson. You're now 3-0, is that right? Was there anything that surprised you about his performance?
Nah, I know he has good cardio. I knew he was looking to just stay on the outside, try pass the entire time. Obviously, I'm a bit upset I didn't get the finish, but it is what it is. Took this match short notice, came up a weight, but still respect Carson. Obviously, wish we could have finished for people to watch, but it is what it is.
Yes, thank you for taking this fight short notice. What can we expect from you? Is there anyone that you're looking to go against next?
I want that 66-kilo belt, Polaris. I don't care who's got it, Keith, Ash, it don't matter. I want the smoke. Let's go.
Let's go. And you're also part of the Europeans team. We've got the first ever girls squad coming on next for our main event. Are you excited? Looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Eoghan O'Flanagan as well. You know, he's fighting Mohammed. Also another sick match, but yeah, main card's going to be fire. Make sure to take it out.
Yes, thank you. We'll go for a short break and then we'll catch the main card on Fight Pass at 7:30. See you then.
So, what an amazing prelims. Absolutely fantastic matches, but don't go anywhere because we have our squads event coming up later. Team America versus Team Europe. Some absolutely fantastic fights. In Team Europe, we have Nia Blackman, Sulame Luthualel, Anna Svensson, Marggo Chiarelli, Selma Vick, and Josephine Modig. And then in Team North America, Helena Cravar, Alana Santiago, Elizabeth Mitrovic, Taylor Ellis Hishaw, Alexander Enriquez, and Brianna St. Guys, who are you excited to see? What potential matchups are you looking out for in the squads events?
There's so many to pick from. I mean, ultimately, I'm really excited to see the captains hopefully match up one more time, have a rematch from the previous Polaris encounter. I always enjoy watching Brianna St. compete. The same with Marggo. There's so many potential matchups that I'm just ready to sit in the stands and enjoy.
I would agree. Very interested. I love Marggo's style and that, you know, she's never been ashamed to say that she loves the technical side of jiu-jitsu, being able to showcase her flow, and I love to watch that, and I'd love to see that. I mean, she's probably, I think, trained with Brianna quite a bit, or they're potentially friends as well, but I'd love to see that combination of that matchup together. And actually, like you, Bradley, I'm really excited to see the potential matchup between Nia and Helena again, given the last match and the slightly different rule set of this being a 5-minute match instead of the 5 minutes, which I think it was last time. That changes the whole dynamic of the game. So I think we see a faster pace, more push because of it only being the 5 minutes. And I'm very excited to see those outcomes.
Yeah, this squad format is a lot of fun. 2 90-minute halves. 2 45-minute halves. You can win through a submission, and that will obviously go to the next person. You get 1 point for a draw. You also get 2 points for a submission, and there's 3 points available if it is a lighter athlete who submits a heavier one. Plus, we also have a super fight, which is Mohammed Avtarhanov versus Eoghan O'Flanagan. A really exciting matchup. Mohammed put on an amazing show last time, so I'm really excited to see how that one goes down. The main card is going to be starting at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be live on UFC Fight Pass. Make sure you tune in for that. From myself, Tom Barlow, from Bradley Hill and Samantha Cook, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the main card.
Every corner of the globe, a martial artist is building their dream. Every drop of sweat, every thrilling victory, every agonizing defeat, every moment spent toiling in darkness, all in service of a dream. This year, at Polaris Squads, they will give it all for their team. North America, Europe, Asia, South America. Which continent has the best grapplers on Earth? There is no greatness without pressure. Something Helena Cravar has felt from the very beginning. Raised in Las Vegas on a foundation of discipline, by 3 years old, she was already a martial artist. By 17, she had rewritten jiu-jitsu history.
Leg free right now. Helena Cravar, the youngest ADCC Trials champion of all time.
I played second at ADCC, and that was probably like one of my highest achievements. It was amazing because I first qualified for it by winning the West Coast Trials that year amongst a bracket of 60 women, and I had 5 matches, 4 submissions out of that, which qualified me to go to the top 8 women in the world at under 65 kilos, and I was able to be the youngest finalist there. So going through that whole experience was really amazing, and just getting the experience at such a young age at 17, getting the first heel hook in the women's division, and just being able to do a 30-minute match with one of the best women out there and one of the most successful. in jiu-jitsu, like in Vieira, was definitely a great experience for me, and just like really happy to have done that.
From Kajukenbo to ballet to jiu-jitsu, Helena lived in motion. But it was on the mats that she found her calling. And it didn't take long for the world to notice.
Yeah, my parents, they always wanted me to be active, like to do something outside of school. So they started me like very young, just for fun and to make friends in Kajukenbo. Kajukenbo was the longest one I did before jiu-jitsu, which was 5 years. Everything else I tried in between month, 2 months, maybe just 1 day. And yeah, I was just like always doing something, trying either Kajukenbo or ballroom dance. I tried ballet, I tried gymnastics, tried swimming, and afterwards I tried Muay Thai, judo, wrestling. But pretty much like it all led me like to try jiu-jitsu and fall in love with it. My parents are from Serbia, Eastern Europe, which is former Yugoslavia. I was born in Las Vegas, but I also speak 2 languages. I speak English and Serbo-Croatian. My parents, they were born over there. They then moved to Canada. They lived there for 7 years. Then they moved from Canada to Las Vegas, and that was where I was born and raised until 2022 when we did move here to Austin.
The youngest ever ADCC medalist, Polaris champion, world title holder. But these moments didn't come easy. Behind them are years of sacrifice. Under the watchful eye of John Danaher, she sharpened her game, facing elite adults while still just a teenager.
Helena's been at a very high level in jiu-jitsu, which you can clearly see with her professional accomplishments when she fights in professional grappling matches. Since she was a teenager, she's been competing against black belts all the way up to black belt world championship level. But her age always restricted how far she could progress in IBJJF competition. However, by winning world championships, that provides a shortcut. Every time you win a world championships, you can be promoted to the next belt level in much shorter time. So because of that, we were able to promote Helena at an unusually young age, 18, to black belt. Helena, step forward.
Thank you.
Congratulations. There's a sense in which everyone knew Helena was going to be very good. And within a very short time frame, the question switched from will she be good to how good can she get? I will say that Helena's overall mindset and sense of progression aligns extremely well with the best professional athletes that I've ever coached.
This isn't the end of Helena's story. It's just the beginning. There is no path for the nomad. She makes her own. Born in London to an Italian father and a Chinese mother, Marggo Chiarelli has moved between cultures, disciplines, and continents.
Self-identifying as a nomad, like I wasn't sure that I was going to end up in New York City, and it happened pretty much as a byproduct of a particular event happening in Hong Kong, which was where I was living. I separated from my old affiliation, and I kind of like didn't have a home anymore. I was immediately thinking, well, I have to start going more internationally, and I might have to make that jump to move abroad. One of the teams that I researched quite a lot in that generation was Unity Jiu-Jitsu. It's like it had like a plethora of like high-level individuals, like the Meow Brothers, Levi, like all of the Sister Acosta boys. For me, like it was one of the most diverse gyms with many different jiu-jitsu styles.
From wushu to Wing Chun, powerlifting to dance, movement became her language. Jiu-jitsu was the grammar.
I started jiu-jitsu in July of 2012, and at the time I was studying Chinese martial arts. I was really fond of Chinese martial arts growing up, and very fascinated by the Hong Kong film industry, the martial arts film industry. Like it was a very big inspiration of mine growing up. And it was very casual beginnings in jiu-jitsu. I had a friend that I used to lift with, and he was a black belt in judo and also a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. And he just simply asked me one day if I wanted to try a class, and I was like, it's a martial art that I've never tried before. I definitely had a lot of curiosity, so I said yes. And I was pretty much hooked after the first class.
She's faced injury, divorce, and grief. And through it all, she kept moving, not untouched, but unwavering. From London to Hong Kong, to New York and beyond, she's built her style on honesty, not convention. A European champion, a world-level contender, a black belt under Murillo Santana. The journey has shaped her, but never defined her. Marggo doesn't just win, she performs.
The majority of my training camp, if I'm totally honest with you, has been mainly based in the gi. And I do a lot of tape study. I regularly watch all the no-gi events that come up, like UFC Fight Pass, whatever platform it's on. I'm constantly training my mind, because I think it's a dual-sided practice. You have the physical practice and the mental practice. So I have mainly been in the gi, physically, but my mind has been dabbling in both the entire year. Now I'm going to finish the rest of my camp at Standard Jiu-Jitsu. I'm just spending the next 2 weeks over there with Greg and ready to fly to Europe after that. So I'm really excited to see what the remainder of the camp looks like, but my mind's ready. Now the body just has to do the work.
15-year-old Nia Blackman took up jiu-jitsu when she was 7 and has already won several gold medals. Her dream now to take on and beat the best in the world.
Nia Blackman broke through early, but the work never stopped, and neither did she. On the mats of South London, she trained with focus. Backed by a family who understood the discipline sport demands.
They both played sports as well, growing up a lot. They've always been really just follow your passions, and whatever we can do to support you, we'll do that.
Martial arts is a great discipline for kids. I hadn't even heard of it before, but she fell in love with it instantly. She just loved it, took to it like a duck to water.
She built her foundation early and built it well.
I remember I lost my first fight and I was really, really upset. I had to hype myself back up. I got back on. I remember my mum was just as loud as she is today. I kind of hopped back into it, and I think I armbarred the girl really quickly, and I was like, yeah, I want to get back out here and I want to do another competition again.
Her rise didn't go unnoticed. As the medals stacked up, so did the attention.
From the trials is Nia Blackman.
And Nia Blackman, we have another world champion in the capital.
Young athlete from Beckenham, hoping her success can raise the profile of all the women who compete in her field.
She's been tested in training rooms, on competition mats, under the weight of expectation. There was a point where she questioned if her best days were already behind her.
Being like a young girl in the sport, I got to a point at around 12, 13 where that's like the age that unfortunately girls tend to drop off of sports, especially jiu-jitsu. And I got to a place where there wasn't really many girls for me to fight, like in the UK. So at around 12, 13, I started to fight in the boys division, and I was 13 fighting in the 15 to 16-year-old boys division. Yeah, I won quite a couple of them actually. But then obviously they started to hit puberty. So what I ended up doing at around 13 years old is I started competing as an orange belt in the adult blue belt division. And then I kind of got to a point in my jiu-jitsu where obviously I was fighting obviously a lot of the women who were like the best of the best at the purple belt and the brown belt. And I'm still obviously being quite young, 17, 18. I went for a long time without really losing. That when I kind of got to those points and I didn't win, it was like, I don't know how to handle this really, and it did definitely knock my confidence quite a bit.
Nia's quiet determination would carry her through Europe's toughest circuits, across world stages, all before earning her black belt at 19. But Nia Blackman didn't stop. She grew past the doubt and kept climbing.
I knew I wasn't coming out there and living up to my full potential, so it was very hard for me, and I ended up doing a big change of gyms and coming to Raw, and slowly while I was here, my confidence started to build again. Even leading up to the ADCC trials is when I first started coming to Royal, and yeah, it was definitely the best option for me. And yeah, throughout this past year and a half, my confidence has grown. So it was just also doing a lot of that mental work behind the scenes, like mentally preparing yourself. Obviously learning to lose, having it not knock your confidence, and still obviously getting back up, getting back out there, getting on the mats every time, no matter the result. That coming here and obviously not just working on my jiu-jitsu, but just working on my mindset was very important. I'm definitely just looking forward to going out there, giving it all I got. She's obviously improved, I've obviously improved, and yeah, just expect another good match, another scrap.
For the young phenom, the goal was never attention. It was excellence.
She looked like a veteran.
And representing Brazilian top team, Brianna St.
Oh my goodness! Brianna St.
Brianna St. Marie built her name on consistency and results that spoke for themselves. From rugby fields in Montreal to world stages in jiu-jitsu.
Female lightweight crown champion is Brianna St. Marie.
My dad started jiu-jitsu before I did. He did grappling, but at the time there wasn't necessarily officially jiu-jitsu yet that had come to Montreal or even Canada really. But then when I was really young, 6, 7 years old, my dad for fun would show me a headlock or something, and then I really wanted to do what he was showing me. At the time it wasn't accessible. And then my dad started jiu-jitsu when it became a thing in Montreal. But then at that point I was a teenager, and the thought of like doing a sport with my dad was like not appealing to me. At 19 years old, I thought, actually maybe this could be kind of fun. So I went to the gym and I tried it out, and I pretty much immediately fell in love with it. Like I just had so much fun doing it.
Oh, hi Will. Oh my goodness, I think I'm
Get the hooks, Brianna.
Brianna climbed fast, but somewhere along the line, the joy faded.
I should do a one-handed crack, but I can't. Jiu-jitsu made me feel really great, so I just like started kind of putting all my eggs in that one basket. You know, the classic mistakes, like I equated essentially like my whole self-worth with my competition results, right? I was getting away with it because I was just doing really great in competition, you know? And then I finally had a pretty serious like back injury in 2022.
A back injury slowed her body. The pressure weighed on her mind. And for a moment, she questioned if she'd ever want to compete again.
Got to the point where I was like, okay, well, I just need to win something now so I can retire. Just like desperate to have accomplished what I wanted to accomplish so I could stop. And that was just like the worst mindset. Like, and actually removing that pressure is what allowed me to like finally like work on my mental health and get to a place where I feel like a lot better about competition.
But she kept showing up, not to prove anything, but to find something. In 2024, she did. 7 matches, 1 open class title, a weekend where she felt free again.
Here's the quarterfinal matchup in the women's lightweight division, and Brianna St. gets a victory on our mat. Brianna St. jumps to a guillotine.
Oh my goodness!
That's it, Jake!
Brianna St.
In the Crown lightweight final.
And here we go. Diana Levitt compete on mat number 2 today, Danny. This one's gonna come down to the wire.
Brianna St. amazing performance today.
And your 2024 female lightweight crown champion is Brianna St. representing
advantage in the lightweight final, wins the 2024 IBJJF crown.
For the first time in years, she wasn't fighting for approval. She was fighting like herself.
I was like, I'm fucking done with like, I gotta be number 1, I gotta win this, I gotta win that, I gotta beat this person, I gotta beat that person. I was like, I'm fucking done with that. Being surrounded by the right people, like my close friends in the sport, their support that they offered during that period where I felt like super depressed and like in a really bad place, like having their support obviously in those moments was like amazing.
I feel really great. I've honestly been like really struggling the past couple of years mentally, and I've put in a lot of work on fixing that. And it's really cool to come out here and feel like I'm using my jiu-jitsu, what I know I'm capable of in the training room, transferring onto the mats, and that's honestly all you can ask for.
Surrounding yourself with people who are pursuing the same things also, you know, they understand the struggle, so that was like really helpful. They understand kind of the grind and what you're going through. Yeah, and then I think also just like finding fun in the sport. Like the reason why I chose to like commit myself to jiu-jitsu was because I was like, oh, I have so much fun doing it. So now my focus when I compete is just about like self-improvement. Like I love learning jiu-jitsu, so just like problem solving stuff, training with people who I think are like cool and fun to train with. And then just doing competitions that I'm like, that would be fun, a fun competition to do. And going into it with that mindset, I think has been huge.